Oh, hello there, travelers.
Ah!
Hello.
Hail.
Greetings and salutations.
Good morrow.
What are you doing here?
Well, I figured you guys want to play some D&D-doos.
I thought
That
we were
seems
supposed to be
agreeable.
having the podcast.
Any dungeons / and/or dragonos?
Yes.
No, I'm not a dungeon or a dragon.
Any drakens?
Yes.
I'm not a dragon.
This
I'm
is-
an egg.
Our talkies are just like my house. It's gonna be Halloween until Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Bro, it's November. It's November and it's already over.
No, never.
it's already over Vember.
It's done Vember.
Done Vember.
I like that. I like that Halloween has.
Done
been
Vember is
officially-
better than deceased December. I got something.
Deceased.
Deceasper.
No, December.
Deceased-
December.
Deceasper. Anyway,
December.
there's a worldwide load of shutting up happening as we're about to start playing. Alrighty. So we last left our heroes. You had just discussed some things with Inarius, the engine of life. Discussed amongst yourselves what your next plan of action will do, while your spire is currently percolating, getting nice and ready with all that good stuff. You have decided to travel back to the city of Sarkozia. Alrighty. Let me make sure all these things are check marked. That looks good. Alright.
We also hired a gnome.
You did hire a gnome. Isn't that great?
Yeah, they're real cool. They're a real cool fella.
Captain Slappy Paps.
Slappy Paps.
Yeah.
Good old snappy
Slapper,
pass.
papper.
Hey, look, man.
You can't say anything. You're racist.
She's capable. Alright?
Look, Axel's not
Dude,
racist.
I wanted to slap
She's
my
a very
pappies.
fine captain. Captain.
Okay.
I don't know, you make
So let's get straight into it, I suppose. What means of travel are you using to return to Sarkozia?
I believe the plan was to, from what you told us, to travel, to use the teleportation, get back to the Shrine of Hanarius, where we originally met him, and then we would travel on foot back.
Alright, that sounds like a plan to me.
Yes.
We can't afford our new mount service yet.
I can.
Everybody should
Hooper
be
doesn't have a
stocked
license in Conflux yet.
on rations,
Was it
water.
like $300?
Oh man,
Alright,
my
bro.
CDL is so expensive.
I can't wait for one of these characters to just like pull out like a fat stack of cash.
Alright, let's
Oh wait,
get to
there is one thing before we go. I would want to see if Inarius would have a banjo, possibly.
a banjo.
And no,
Can we make one?
you can.
Yeah,
Is that a mundane item?
I suppose.
just for Calvin.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can have a banjo. That's weird to ask, but alright, whatever. Here, have your slack jawed Yoko guitar.
Here, Calvin, do you want this banjo I found?
Oh no.
I guess I'll be taking that offer up for you.
Yo, can I get some
What?
drums?
I'm gonna probably. I think I'm gonna leave it here for a while. I'm gonna need some time to practice it before I bring it out. I don't want to break it on our trip to Sarkozia.
I mean, we can literally just make another one.
Anyway,
She is right.
alright. So you guys will teleport back to the main temple. And let's see if you can make it back. Oh, sorry.
Don't worry. Hey, can I get an
I'm
electric
ready.
guitar?
Electric
Well,
guitar.
do not make me tase you from a different state. I will find
I
a
got
way
one
to do it.
sitting right here.
Wow.
No. Don't make me. I will.
Smoke.
Smoke.
Oh no.
Whoa, Springfield!
Alright, well, anyway, you guys will teleport back to the Shrine of Honorius, and we will calculate your travel time. Okay. I got a lot to track here. Okay. Okay.
Also,
Do
I'm
you?
still paused.
Yeah, I know. Do you guys have a ranger?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Cool.
Hi.
We also have a map.
Yes.
If only that mattered.
And Google.
Anyway,
Okay.
let's see here. First things first. Let's roll some checks. Let's get you to Sarkozia. We'll see if anything terrible happens on the way. Let's see. You have a ranger, so ranger can roll with advantage on survival.
24.
Okay, you guys aren't lost. That's good.
That wasn't at advantage, nerd.
Oh, that wasn't, but yeah.
Roll again.
Alright. Let's roll some vents.
Hey.
Okay.
Doesn't seem too bad.
Oh, hold on. I gotta update this.
So how's everybody's fine Monday day?
My day could be a lot more exciting. It's pretty boring.
Well, what do you think you're here for, Egg?
To liven that up.
There you go. I hope you guys in chat are having a great day too. Hope you're going to enjoy our game today.
Calvin's talking to the people in his head again.
See, I knew he escaped from the house.
Well, we all escaped from somewhere.
You all don't have an imaginary friend called Chat in your head. I've gotten it ever since we got to this blasted place. There are these weird guys that keep on trying to tell me what I should be doing.
Okay. Alright, that'll work for me.
Sometimes they shout this
Okay.
weird-looking Komodo at me.
Alright, so that means that we're gonna 75.
Perhaps he picked up some bad habits from Jimmy.
Alright.
Jim.
As you begin your travels, your party will stumble upon a strange trail. A set of footprints left behind an irrecognizable creature. It does not appear to be humanoid. They venture from the direction that you are heading, and they travel for quite some distance beyond your sight. You can choose to investigate them further, follow them, or continue.
Could I use the index to attempt to analyze them?
Sure. Make me an investigation check.
Hold on, my brain farted. What?
All right. As you place the index against the trail, you are unable to successfully get any readout on what it is. It does appear that whatever the trail is, it does not seem to be left by a humanoid, as it is one continuous streak.
Oh.
Can I make a nature check or something?
You can make a survival.
Oh, sure. Nat 20.
This is a trail left by a vehicle, most notably
Oh.
some sort of large carriage. Possibly a caravan of some kind.
Ah,
But what's odd is that you don't see any surrounding footprints, which would indicate that the carriage is by itself.
strange. Seems to be potentially just a single caravan. There's nobody around it, which is strange.
I would like to use Soul Sight.
You do not detect anything with soul sight.
Okay. And just to make sure I'm not like getting the wrong idea, we can see the carriage, right? Or is it just the?
You see the
tracks?
trail left by the carriage,
Okay.
or what you presume to be a carriage. It was left
Some
by a
sort of-
vehicle.
Something
I would like to
passed
try and
through.
follow it.
If we're going to follow it, would this take us off course from Sarkozia?
As I literally just said that, yes.
Yes.
I say we
So-
just press on them. We have about a 50-50 chance of it being a friendly, just a friendly group of travelers or another band of slavers. I'm not
I mean,
interested
I'm just
in
trying
either.
to look ahead and see if there is a carriage.
The trail passes on beyond your sight. You'll have to follow it for some time.
I'll just look back. And I'll look back at the trail and just shake my head, and I'll just start walking with my friends again.
Ignore.
Any of us see reason to stop and investigate this?
So you choose to continue?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Galvin follows along.
Alright, next day, make me a survival check. Okay, that
My
works.
boy.
Advantage. Remember.
That was
He
what
did.
did.
It
Oh.
was a bit.
Oh shit, that's another. Oh god.
Hey, let's go.
That's another one.
Pretty good.
That's pretty good.
I'm in my element.
Oh, no, don't jinx it. Humble.
The party happens upon a large essence shard that is shoved directly into the earth. It jettisons out, glowing with energy, bright and vibrant. This enormous essence shard could possibly be interacted with and also mined.
Oh,
Oh,
Should we? I mean,
Does anyone has a pick on anything, do we?
I mean, we do need essence.
Galvin pulls out a shovel from his backpack. I've got this.
if anything, we can at least mark it on the map and send it back. Or hell, we could just send the info back to Henarius and he can relay that to our people to possibly send miners.
how big is it?
6 feet by 3 feet.
Oh, that's...
It's a mighty chunk.
Yeah.
Can I pull it out of the ground?
Not without tools.
Oh.
Even if we were to get this out, this would still be a hefty object. But
Out
I
of
don't see any-
curiosity, does the halo detect that it's magical?
Yeah,
It's an,
it's an enormous essence shard.
yeah. Just.
Make me Arcana checks if you'd like to know more.
I would like to do that before I do what I think I'm gonna do. I'm not
Hey.
going to do that.
Holy
Watch this.
shit.
Watch this. This is gonna be awful. Watch this. I'm gonna be.
That's-
Actually, that was actually pretty fun. That was okay.
Is that all of you? Is there anybody else?
No, Chrotus,
Chrotus.
please
Not yet.
save.
I got a 12.
that
Oops.
wasn't-
Calvin
Scroll
looks
up.
at the shard. He looks at his shovel in his
Oops.
hand and he goes,
Why do I have the highest? No.
You have no fucking idea other than it's magical and it is essence. Holy shit. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. That laugh
We should tell
peed
them
right out
about
of me.
this.
Hey, we're not the smartest bunch.
Yeah,
I mean, we
luck-
have no.
luck left
We have
a while
no.
ago.
fucking-
Alright,
We have no intelligence.
Calvin's
best of
going
the-
to look at it, look at his shovel, look at it again, and go, probably shouldn't.
you know what? I like Soul's idea. We have the index. We contact Henarius. We tell him there's a large essence shard a day's travel away from here, and fucking tell him to come get it.
Well, it's a day's travel from the Shrine of Henarius, which is
Oh, yeah.
further on. Well, no.
Well, they
people-
can teleport from the shrine.
Yeah, yeah. I was just gonna say.
Just
I-
tell them,
the-
please, come get this. We need
Please.
this.
We need this. This is something we need. We need.
We need it.
We need money.
Guys, you
I
just
don't
Let's
don't
go sloppy
understand
test
it.
transport back.
I need it.
I don't need it.
I don't need it.
I don't need it.
I don't need it.
don't need it.
Should I hit it with the shovel?
need it.
I say don't.
The shovel?
Please
No,
don't.
don't hit with the shovel.
No.
Wow.
Oh,
We'll find something else for you to shout at.
we should probably take off our Taladonic buff.
Alright, I'm back.
Yeah, dude, we
So-
don't have that anymore, do we?
So, what we doing?
We're gonna tell Henarius about this, I assume, right?
Yeah. If we
Yeah.
can, we were gonna want to. We talked and we're like, we should probably contact Henarius, tell him that there's a essence shard within a day's travel of the shrine, see if they can send someone else to harvest it.
Are you using the index to do that?
Yes, Henarius.
Mhm.
Alright. As you say that, that's all you hear.
Ah,
Interference. God.
of course.
Well, it is a very concentrated, powerful, magical kind of thing.
True.
Maybe it's dealing with that.
Wait, hold on. Maybe I have something. I'm gonna cast Sending to Honorius. Honorius. Massive essence shard at our possession. Do you have a way to track us or the index currently? Urgently respond.
The response is,
Holy.
Interesting.
Oh man.
I'm guessing I would get that in my head then.
yeah.
Chrotus shudders.
All right. Well,
Wait. Oh, what was that sound?
We
you
don't.
have that shovel, Calvin, right?
Yup. And it looks like we tried, the smart way, and now we got to do it the different way. And I swing the shovel at the rock.
I back up.
Try and break a piece off of it.
I'm backing up.
Same.
Yeah.
I back up all
Athletics
my
check.
friends.
Athletics. 8.
Your arm goes numb as you slam against it. Nothing happens.
Here, let me see the shovel.
I was about to.
If you
Before
want
you
to,
go,
go ahead.
Careful,
guidance.
don't be breaking it. I'll hand it to Sashiv. Thing's kind of hard. I'll rub
I can
my
see
arm.
that. Athletics then?
Yep.
With guidance, technically.
Oh, with guidance, D4.
Yeah.
Yug reaches out his hand.
We're just playing past the shovel here.
Sashiv's arm is now numb.
Uh,
The shard doesn't give a fuck.
yes. She hands you the shovel. Make it pay.
Ma'am.
This is a tough.
Yug just fucking clambers on
Shard
fucking
crap.
around. He just hits it. He just goes stiff.
The
Wow.
shovel strikes the essence shard, bounces off, and hits Yig in the helmet.
All right.
His
before you-
arm is now fucking stiff. Oh god.
Oh god. Don't say it like that.
Before all of you give yourself a concussion, maybe we should just leave it.
Yeah.
We could try contacting Canarius later. Maybe it's just a temporary thing.
I'm gonna hand the shovel back to Calvin.
Calvin, have a bent shovel.
Can I try?
Calvin
lending
is
it
going
back
to
the
look a
boys?
little bit pissed. Maybe like,
Well, I'll buff out the
Sweet.
scratches later.
I figured you could. So
We can get more. We can rebuild it.
probably move on then. Should I write down in my journal where we found this? Kind of the famous area?
Yeah.
Oh. If it helps, yes. Please.
Write down in my journal. What should I
Your
put down in
diary.
my notes as Arcadum?
I think it's like
Hold on. As you turn to leave, Chrotus, you feel that your spell slot that you used was restored.
Oh, wow.
The energy from the crystal pulses out. That's it.
No.
That's-
Can I reach out to the crystal and see if there's touches the magic in any way?
Okay, now I can give you another Arcana check.
all of us.
Okay. I'll enhance ability for intelligence. That's all do any good.
I assume all of us got a +0, right?
Oh, Chrotus has advantage.
Like I said, like it would help.
Man, who the fuck knows, right?
Oh
Yeah.
man, I sure hope this isn't a staple. I hope this isn't a staple. That is one higher than last time.
Are we all making the check again?
Negative, only Chrotus.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, that's
never
why I
mind.
was like,
Yeah.
he was
okay.
the one reaching out
That's
to
okay.
it, so.
That's okay. Alright, so Anyway, you continue
What if I
to
look at
live in
my
ignorance.
Special eyes.
Just like the beginning.
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
No, Patrick, mayonnaise is not an instrument.
So,
Horseradish isn't
Gonna
an
explode.
instrument either.
I'm gonna explode.
Let's leave it be.
so Calvin's writing it down where we found it in his journal, and then we're gonna try to contact.
Approximate location and surrounding area.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
if we do send a party out based off my notes, they might find it.
All
Or
right.
if we come back and try and get this thing out.
Do you guys move on then?
Yeah.
Just to be sure, we no longer have that boon we got from the tower, right?
Correct.
But we do have the one from the Soul Font where it's like +3 to attack rolls for the first combat.
Yeah, you got that one.
To remove
You know,
the
I might just
effect.
go back to being racist towards automated rolls.
So to remove the effect, guys, just go to effects under your character sheet, and you can delete it from there.
I just toggled the effect.
I
It's
was
off now.
I did it too, but I think we're probably
They
not
won't
going
let
to
me
use
turn
it
it off.
anymore. So
Who knows?
All right.
All right, here we go. Give me a survival check. Okay. Okay, nothing happens. Survival check.
That's another one.
The only survival. That's the only good rolls we're gonna get is surviving.
I mean, it's better than last time. What do you want another horror fuck?
Oh yeah, no, it's much better.
This way. Du-du-du-du-du-du-du.
Alvin is very impressed with your navigation skills.
Yes.
You have a little chit chat with him.
Yeah, because
And
marching
+1
like a
in the
soldier.
friendship tree.
Ever been on a boat?
Ever been on a boat, me lad? Me lassie. I tell you.
Yeah.
Could be using you up in the crow's nest.
Honestly, I'm surprised at my skills as well.
All right. As you move along, eventually you happen upon something else that is strange. There is a pool of water that you happen upon that is glowing brightly. It seems to be giving off a bright blue glow.
Detect it's magical.
Yes, it is. As you get closer, the water is not only magical, but what inside of it is also magical. For you see, there is a mysterious hole, small, about the size of a large fist, at the bottom. The water seems to be swirling in and out of this hole.
Does it look like any of the water that we would remember from the caverns that what's-his-face showed us?
Oh, the mic in it.
Drim Dram.
Drum
Yeah.
drum.
Possible.
Can I make a nature check to see that?
You can make Arcana checks.
Mm.
I will.
Can
You want
we brain
advantage on
today?
it?
Let's find out.
I'll take advantage.
Yeah.
Alright, thank you. Wow. Wow. You know, that's it. I'm going back to being racist towards fucking rolls, man. I'm done with this shit. Like, dude, I ain't never rolling an automated roll again.
Woo!
Whoa! It only
Really?
took
Good
3
roll.
years! It only took 3 years!
Jeez.
I still hate automated rolls!
Alright, this pool of water has been irradiated by mana. It is piping hot, filled with it. If you had some way to transport it back to your spire, you could have this mana filtered out of the water, and it could be transformed into direct building currency.
Well, let's jot that down.
You can also drink this mana in order to restore all of your spell slots and possibly burn out all of the mana in your body, removing your ability to cast permanently.
You know,
Could I,
Can I try dipping my sword in there?
You can try, yeah.
I'll dip my sword in there.
All right. What sword is it?
The only sword I have. What a
is that
long
the
sword.
one modded that it allows it to be a arcane
Yeah.
focus?
Yeah.
maybe we try my longsword that isn't magical. already.
I mean, I'm
I'll
already
stick
in there, man.
I'll stick 5 arrows in there. Just bundle them up and swirl it
I'm already
around.
in there. Give me a second. It can only fit one fist.
No, it's like
So you
If
place
anything-
the
Sticking your sword in the hole!
sword in the water,
In the watering hole, yes.
and the mana flows around it, heightening its metal, but the magic fades quickly as it has not worked.
I look at it. I just resheath it.
Are you interested in keeping it in the skies?
How do we get it out?
Calvin pulls out an extra water skin that he has. 'Cause he has 2.
Oh, that's a good
I have
idea,
to-
actually.
I think it's
I have
best
a
if we
water
just
skin.
leave
I'd
it here
like to
for
put
now.
it in there.
That way we don't mistakenly drink it on our way over.
It's not like they're going to accident. It's not like we're just going to mess with it.
Hmm.
I'm gonna take out the empty potion bottle that I had from the giant strength. Can I use that to bottle some up?
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll do that.
Should go tell Hilarious
We'll
about
empty
this.
my water skin and I'll fill one up.
We should tell Hilarious about this if we can.
Well,
I don't
Sashiv
think
has
we
the
need to tell him everything all the time. We can probably do it after we get
I
back.
mean, this is something Tower needs.
Meeg is right about that. I mean, it's just simple. We can try to call them.
Out of curiosity, can you try and contact him? I have a theory that maybe magical interference can do something to the index.
Well, may as well try it again. Maybe it's not as condensed as that crystal was. She'll pull out the index and call out Hernarius.
Connection established.
Hey, it went through.
Oh, Hernarius. It seems that we've found some sort of spring that has some sort of effect with mana. We might be able to use this.
Analyzing position. Position analyzed.
Should we tell them about the crystal?
Oh yeah, obviously.
We also
Marking
found
for
a large-
marking for future extraction.
We also found, about a day's travel back, a very large essence shard. It seemed that the density of it was so strong that we weren't able to establish a connection to you. But if it's somewhere between here and your old shrine, then it shouldn't be too hard to track down.
Triangulating position. Approximate position analyzed. Marking for later extraction.
Thank you. That'll be all.
While that's going on, Calvin empties a water skin and fills it up with mana water.
Okay,
Anything from
you have mana water.
Awesome. Calvin will take a little piece of rope and tie it around the edge of the mana water so that he can differentiate between the two.
All right.
Alright, gods, I'm ready to go.
It was much easier since he was actually able to respond.
Indeed.
I mean, of course.
Yeah, I'm
We
not
should
gonna
be-
try it. I'm good to go.
Let's move on then.
All right. Survival checks.
Are there any birds in Conflux?
Yeah, so we don't know about it.
I think we established that.
What
we
are
don't
birds?
Notice. I think it was
Nice.
established that we didn't
Any
know any
birds?
wildlife.
All right. While crossing through the Riverlands, you happen upon one such river that is filled to the brim with barges. You can hear that there is singing, dancing, drinking, and feasting. It seems some sort of festivity is occurring.
Is this like the one you mentioned on your travels, Calvin?
Is the one that I mentioned on my travels, Arcadum. Or similar.
Which travels?
He was looking for people, the
I was
river
looking for
jacks.
people around.
Yeah, those are riverjacks.
Be like, oh, those are the river jacks. They're the ones that sent me back with the boots on me hand. Well, maybe not those exact ones, but probably pretty similar. Would you like to go and say a little hello to them? Maybe spend the night before we travel out for more?
See no issue with spending the night. Maybe we can convince a few of them to go head towards Lux's will. Start setting up shop there.
Wouldn't be the worst idea. But let's keep our wits about ourselves, lest we end up with our boots tied to our hands.
And also, just to ask for sake of, time, travel, all that junk. How long have we been out?
This is day 5.
Oh, day 5.
A5.
Okay.
You're approximately 2 days from Sarkozia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then,
yeah.
Gonna go investigate the river jacks then. Whose birthday is it?
Okay. As you approach, you will see that the riverjacks are speaking amongst themselves, drinking, feasting. But as you get closer, the music and festivities dies down slightly, and you can see that the riverjacks turn, and several crossbows are pointed in your direction, as one gentleman steps up to the front and will ask, "That's close enough, strangers!"
I will hold my position.
Bear your name and your clan. Ig. He'll look at everybody else. Ain't never heard of no Okins.
We're new.
Right.
We come about 5 days away.
He's gonna point in the direction that they were walking.
Aye, and
From
why
a
you...
town called... Well, from a town called Lux's Wheel.
I ain't never
Kind of a
heard of
new
it.
establishment. It's a new establishment. We've been working on it.
Alright.
It's got maybe 30 people around. But we don't come with any threat or anything. We were just wondering if you would all like to chat, maybe hang out a little bit. If you got any wares to sell, we've got some dust that we could sell or use to buy.
How much dust?
Can I incite this question?
Sure.
Okay.
Do that as well if it's alright.
Yeah, can I insight as well?
Sure. You sense he's being truthful by the amount of dust he wants to know that you have.
I mean, does it seem malicious? Like he's trying to swindle us into something?
I wouldn't think
Raise
so.
his eyebrow.
The most you can make from it is he's trying to see if you're worth his time. So I suppose it could be malicious, if you look at it that way. But
We got about maybe 40 dust we could spend at one time here.
he'll look around. So you travelers from Lux's Will, huh? From the north?
Aye.
Yeah.
Why are you coming this way then?
We're heading to Sarkozia.
Do some sightseeing in Sarkozia.
Sightseeing? Well, friend, you might want to turn back around. Sarkozia ain't no place for no sightseeing. Not anymore.
What
How so?
Damn place is overran with those Silver Rose fellas.
Silver Rose?
Aye. Someone then went and opened up the Noble District, combined the rest of the city together. At first, everyone thought it was going to be a big old shindig. But before you knew it, this Order of the Silver Rose, these warriors in silver or whatever, started to take over everything. They killed the old Don, put his head up on a pike. Made a deal with the warden of the Malise prison. The whole place is on lockdown right now. Nobody can go in and out. Well, nobody without permission, at least.
Uh-oh.
Really good to know.
Would you know of any way to get in?
If you're not in the good graces of them silver folk, you ain't getting in. At least not without force. I suppose if you was of a hiding type, maybe you could get around them. But I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. The easiest way to get in with the least amount of guards is through the scarred side, and the scarred side's so chock full brim of death that nobody's gonna venture there. Ever since whatever happened in the Noble District, all the charred ones have been acting wild, pressing up against the wall. People are saying that it's gonna crack and fall anytime soon.
Axel's writing this all down in her journal.
All right.
There'll be a slight
Very
look of
interested
worry
to
on his
know, my
face.
friend. Thank you for the
that you cannot see.
information.
No problem. Just, I'd still clear that city. Ain't nothing good coming from there.
Of course.
If you ever need a place to rest, like we mentioned, Lux's Will is a new forming town. If you ever
Yeah, we're good.
just thought I'd offer.
They go back to partying and ignore you.
At least
That
we
was
gathered
healthy.
something from here.
Man, Sarkozia sounds like a fun place. You guys didn't tell me about this.
Yeah, well, we weren't exactly privy to this information before now either.
It also happens to be quite a large town, so we were in the kind of eastern district, if I recall correctly.
So you mean a
Right,
city?
boys? Or western. We were on one of the two sides of the river. I think it was the west.
Well, looks like from his saying, the best way to get in, if you want to do it secretly, is through the Scar, which apparently is filled with the Scorched, whatever those are. Do you all have any other ideas?
Frenzian. Doesn't sound too good.
What about the sewers?
Getting into them is going to be the problem. If we can't enter the city, we'd have to find an entrance to the sewers, which we weren't even very good at navigating the first time.
Well, I'm here, so I should help. And getting in sneaky, well, I do have my few tricks to do that. For example, like, we're running from that beast in the night.
That will probably be our best option. The only other alternative I have is, well, we walk up to the gate and we ask them nicely if we could come in. Maybe get to some sort of deal.
If they're
Yeah.
working,
Chances of us getting in, especially if they're in cahoots with the warden, are quite low.
Hence why I said
And the
that was
chances
the
that we
second
don't
best
just get
option.
shot on sight.
That doesn't necessarily mean we'll get shot on sight.
And I don't want to be shot by shite either.
We're still, what, 2 days out? Could think of something before then.
Alright.
If not, we still have enough rations to head back.
Very true. Currently I'm down to 9 out of my 2-week stock, so
we'll get as close as we can to gauge their circle of influence. Then we can decide what's the best course.
Okay.
Right. Yep. We will spend the night outside the lumberjack gate.
Oh, we'll probably move away.
Or
from
we're gonna walk away from them.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, give
Yeah,
them
they're
their
probably
piece.
gonna, like,
Just grow.
be nearby.
You guys want to lose your pants?
Don't threaten me with a
I know
good time.
maybe
Anybody want to get woken up tied to another friend's fucking pair of pants? No? Okay.
I'm good. I'm good.
I mean, Calvin's always down for a good party trick, but
Bunch of
why do you think he
drunk
walked all the way
river
back
gypsies.
back with boots on his hands?
I have a question. Can I just sleep standing up? Like, just straight up?
No, because you're not a horse.
He can haul like a gear like a horse.
Well, I mean, I guess you could, but like it's not gonna be very comfortable. I can tell you from experience, it's not.
Okay.
Anyway, give me a survival check. Maybe continue your journey.
Okay.
Oh, that's a story trigger. All right, let's see what I got here.
Story what now?
Story trigger.
Ooh,
Pull my story trigger. No.
I'm listening.
You just get a cutscene by Studio Trigger.
Yeah,
That'd
they're
look
pretty
really good.
though. Yeah.
That'd be pretty epic. Give it to me.
All right, you happen upon something.
Something.
You see a battlefield, a small one, but noticeably covered with broken gear, corpses, fired arrows, and also what appears to be a set of shattered stone horses and a wagon overturned. Make me survival checks.
You know, it'd be a good time to burn enhanced spell.
I would say no.
Too late.
Well, I got it covered, man. Don't worry.
Chrotus is pretty good. It's like not 29 good, but I mean pretty good.
Just one off. Almost got the fourth one.
Almost got the fourth 30.
Now, whatever the hell happened here? It's been crazy.
I'd like
Okay,
to be, if I can I soul sight just try to see if there's anyone
sure.
that, yeah, like while we're walking here.
Your soul sight doesn't reveal any latent soul energy, but the party investigates the scene, and what you're able to uncover is this wagon was on the run, or at least it was in the middle of transit. You're not sure if it was running from its attackers or not, but it was certainly in the middle of its transit. The horses were struck first, so whoever attacked had the means or the knowledge that their adversary and quarry was in a vehicle. You can see that the passengers within the vehicle were dragged out, and they were murdered pretty ruthlessly right in the middle of the battlefield. The few guards that you presume were there to assist the carriage fell pretty easily. The arrow shafts into their necks indicate a high level of precision from their attackers. In fact, if it were not for the corpses, it would be difficult to see any evidence of these attackers being here in the first place. It seems although they struck with precision, they were not able to stay to cover their tracks, or perhaps they didn't care to. Upon closer inspection, as you search the area, you're able to find that a few of the arrows contain peculiar accent on the back end of them, longer dark feathers that are normally needed, and from some avian creature that you don't recognize. As you search the corpses that remain of the passengers and their various guards, you can see that they have already been looted. Their pockets turned inside out, their valuables taken from their bodies. It's unknown if that is the reason they were attacked or if there was some other reason. You also notice that there is a chest that has been also looted. However, there is one thing that you do find that seems to have been missed. There is a ring stomped into the mud.
Who finds the ring?
soul sighting right now. I'm trying to look for people who are actually alive.
Yig does.
Oh. I'd like to pick that up.
All right,
Just scan
Yig,
it.
as you pick up the ring and pull it free from the mud, you can see that it's actually quite beautiful silver work, and that it is made into the symbol of a silver rose.
I'm gonna turn towards the party. I'm gonna be like,
Guys,
Yeah.
I think the people who are here, this might have been the work of the Silver Rose.
Why you say that?
I'm just gonna pull out the ring and show it to them.
Oh.
It's-
Seems to be quite interesting. Maybe fortunate.
Can I check the hands of the dead bodies to see if there's well, no, the marking probably would have left depending. How long have these bodies been dead?
That's a medicine check.
15.
A few days, at most.
Also, I assume I couldn't find anything alive if that was...
Nothing living. Correct.
Okay.
I'm gonna make an assumption that it wasn't the Silver Rose to do this, just based off the arrows. Having these black feathers on them seems like a calling to me, if anything. Maybe this ring belonged to one of the people that's been murdered.
Possibly. Oh no, it's just an assumption. A theory.
I may have something that can answer that question, but Yig, would you be able to separate one of their heads from their bodies? Preferably the rich-looking gentleman here.
He's just gonna...
Just need his head.
He's just gonna step over to it. Not really responding, but, you know, and just swiftly raises his blade and cuts off his head.
Okay. You cut off the head of one of the victims.
Yeah.
And is there any sack we can use to sort of hide the head for a while?
There's probably a sack there somewhere, yeah.
I'll put it in that, make sure that it's not dripping or anything, and then put it in my backpack.
Okay.
What do you think you're going to be doing with that lad?
I'll tell you once we get the rest in.
Why not now?
Really want to linger around here?
I'd rather know why I defiled a corpse.
You should have asked before you did it then.
Other than
Well, I
the
would expect you to give reasoning or, do something immediately.
I can't do anything because I don't have it prepared. I could do it tomorrow. If you'd want, I could put the head back on his shoulders and then we can come back here tomorrow, cut it off, and then proceed as then.
I mean, it's simple. Just tell him what you're going to do with it, Chrotus.
He's just...
I pointed in things straight. This body has a way to talk with the dead. It's a spell that it knows apparently, but I don't have it prepared. I wasn't expecting to encounter dead bodies so soon. So just take a long rest, prepare, and think of questions to ask.
Right then.
The arrows that are on the ground, Calvin's gonna take another look at them. Are the feathers on the back ornamental only, or
So,
could there be a
this is-
significance to it?
This is where things are weird. They are dark feathers. They are rather, as Axel pointed out, ornate in terms of like a calling. But as you take a closer look, Calvin, as the party's archer, you can see that the feathers are they're added on kind of haphazardly, as if the arrow was not originally designed to have them. And you would know that having such a large, awkward feather would definitely mess with the accuracy of the arrow, so you don't see any reason why it would be put on there in order to make the arrow more effective.
How many of these arrows can I find around the area?
That you could recover, probably like 6.
I will recover them then.
Out of curiosity, what destroyed the Founders? Or the horses?
You have no idea. They've just collapsed in on themselves. Maybe magic?
I assume there's no soul energy radiating off of them.
No soul energy in the area.
Okay, alright.
Does Calvin relay the information that he got about the arrows to us?
Yes, I will.
If that's the case, this could be one of two things. It could be we know very little about the Silver Roses. It could be that they were trying to take care of someone who was leaving the city, since that's where we're heading to. Or if these arrows aren't genuine. Perhaps they left that in the ring behind to sort of shift blame if they're as tyrannical as we've been told they are. Perhaps someone's trying to turn others against them.
I can understand the arrows, but the ring, that's another question entirely. Just looking at these people, they've obviously been picked clean of everything. To leave a ring like that? Even if it was to divert suspicion, that doesn't seem logical in my eyes.
Well,
I'm going to be keeping these arrows just in case we want to,
I'm gonna pocket the ring.
We use the ring, we use the arrows, and we ask the guy tomorrow, with Chrotus doing whatever you're gonna do about that.
His magics.
I don't understand magics, but if we can put together that these are things that, silver guys used, maybe we could try and fake it that one of us is bringing recruits to the town. See if we could get in through the walls that way.
That might not be the
Not
best.
bad shit.
Sorry, what did you say, Chrotus?
It's not a bad shite, but could be risky.
Oh, it's definitely terribly risky.
Well,
But it's an option.
I don't think it's a good idea, in all honesty. Because if this ring did belong to the victims here, and they were murdered, if those feathers were not originally attached to those arrows properly, it could be someone trying to take someone out within the organization. I've seen that a couple of times.
War.
Yeah, yeah, good old gang wars. Anyway, I believe you said they didn't cover the tracks, the attackers, earlier?
They did not.
Which direction are they going?
They are going to the east, which is not in the direction of Sarkozia.
Heading east. Potentially. Do you all know anything that's in the east from here?
Not from here.
Balloon station, maybe?
Index have a map or anything?
Sure.
Does our index have a map?
No. I mean,
up to date.
well, it does, but yeah, it's not up to date and you have no way to view it.
Oh, yeah.
Not one we can access.
Well, I personally think we've gotten everything we can from this place.
Yes, I say we move on before someone else happens upon us and we get shifted the blame.
Agreed.
Can I try to cover up our presence from being here?
Sure, make me a survival check.
Oh,
All
It's
right.
kind of low.
You covered your tracks as best you can.
That was a little bit bad. But
I rolled a
we
7.
will just turn to the direction that we've been walking and keep walking. So
All right. Would you like to continue your journey?
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Give me a survival check. Okay. Okay. Okily dokily. You want to talk to the guy, Chrotus?
Yeah. Questions, right?
Let me get it all open.
Just for flavor, as I pull the hat out of the bag, I just grimace slightly and then I shove my hand right up for its throat and just start using it like a hand puppet
Yep, you
to
can
for
you dismissed
that.
Calvin is watching with intent. He wants to see how this one works out.
It's very obvious how put off he is by this.
You know, Chrotus knows this and just says, "Come on, yeah, give us a kiss."
I'm gonna punch him in the mouth.
Tell me whenever you're ready, Arcadum, and I'll ask my first question.
Okay. All right, you cast your spell.
We mean you no harm. We just came across the aftermath and wanted to ask a few questions. Why were you running?
I was scared. I was scared.
Were you scared of the Silver Rose? Or of the Warden?
No. No. Dark feathers. Dark feathers.
We could turn to the others and just mouth dark feathers.
Who did they belong to?
Who did they belong to?
The man's eyes will go wide with fear as he looks around. Silent wing. Silent wings. Silent wings.
I think I would look towards Sashiv and say, I don't suppose anyone knows of anything with wings that they've seen so far.
Nothing that I've seen.
I assume that wouldn't ring any bells for me.
We've had any Got one more question.
We've got two technically, but
One.
No, two. It's 5
Nope.
questions.
I thought that was there.
It says it right there.
I have 5 questions.
I only asked 3 so far.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm dumb.
Where are they now?
ask his affiliation, what they are, the group that
I
attacked
don't
them?
think we should ask where they are.
No, he's asked. We should ask what he. Well, why would he be attacked? What was so special that they had to take so much precision in their assault?
Calvin will thumbs up Sashiv.
You will not.
Okay. Did the Silver Rose... No, that wouldn't be a good question.
How about this? What was your affiliation that could lead you to be an attack target?
What group were you part of that would lead you to be targeted?
I was an aspirant to the Silver Lows. I was.
Child. The end has come for you all. This... a bit of good times. Whatever that may be for you.
They were affiliated with the Silver Rose then.
You're an aspirant specifically. Maybe forceful recruitment?
Considering the type of what was it an actual carriage or what kind of transportation were they in besides the horses?
It was a carriage, being pulled by two
Well,
horses.
then I don't think it's forceful recruitment.
Why don't we ask if we... Why don't we... you have that ring.
I pull it out.
Why don't we ask him what that signifies?
Be
That's a good
careful,
one.
it's...
Hmm.
You sure about that?
If we know, it's better to know than not to know, because if they see us with it, and it's something that we shouldn't have, then it'd be worse for us. If it's something that we can use to potentially get into the city. We can say that we were part of this group and our carriage was overrun. Some sort of insignia would be more useful than not.
A solid idea. Yeah, could I borrow this?
He'll hand it to you.
And I'll hold up the ring for the head to see with my free hand. We found this in the ground where you were laid to rest. What was the exact question we wanted to ask?
What does this ring signify with the Silver Rose?
I'll repeat that question as he says it, as Sashiv said it directly to the head.
I don't understand. I don't understand. The head is dead once more.
I'll close the eyes and then just unceremoniously flick my hand and the head off it.
Then
Oh,
you understand.
well, there's something with birds, with blackbird feathers. Silent wing, it called it. Hunting a silver rose.
Rebel group, perhaps?
Maybe.
It doesn't sound like a rebel group. That sounds like one person. But one person doing all that?
It's possible. I've seen some crazy people. I mean, we're a bunch of crazy people. We can do some crazy things.
Oh, thank you.
Hmm.
Well, if it doesn't understand what the ring signifies, then it maybe doesn't signify anything.
Maybe
we may as well
wasn't
hang
it.
on to it.
You should read the spell more closely.
He doesn't know. He
Yeah.
quite literally said he didn't know.
No, you need to read the spell. There's a reason he doesn't know.
He
It
wasn't.
can only answer what it knows in life, including languages it knew. Brief, cryptic, or repetitive.
It
Under
doesn't
no compulsion
comprehend.
to
It
offer.
doesn't comprehend anything that has happened since it died.
Die.
So if he was dead and then the ring was dropped, he would not be able to comprehend that. So he can't answer your question.
Makes sense.
Could mean a couple things.
Yeah.
You mean it
So
didn't
that
have consent?
answer in and of itself is an answer that tells you something.
It could
Sure.
mean that either he died first, that it came from somebody else, and in which case he never saw it. Well, in that case, if he doesn't know anything about the ring wasn't with him, then it came to the... It was there after he died. Like, he had no knowledge about it beforehand.
I think we'll need to gather more information on this silent wings before we can give any more information about this.
Yeah.
We can find what kind of information.
Right now, we don't have anything else we could do apart from head to Sarkozia.
Alrighty. Does the party continue?
I'd just like to say one last thing. We know the entirety of that cart looted, besides the ring which was left in the mud. It's possible that this aspirant didn't know anything about the ring and it's being kept secret on somebody else. But it also could mean that maybe it was dropped by somebody else who investigated the scene. At least that's my theory.
Until we actually encounter one of these silver rows and we see what they wear. If none of them are wearing rings of this type, or if they don't have anything close to it, then it could be someone higher up, or it could just be a plant to divert attention.
Yeah.
It could be any number of things. We have very little understanding of exactly what happened since we left Sarkozia. When we get there, it's not going to be any easy.
We have a bit of
I
understanding.
doubt that they were trying to lead us somewhere else with this.
Maybe not us, but someone.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Alright, so the party continues.
Promotion.
Yes.
We does.
I'm ready. Promotion. I'm ready.
I'm just chilling.
Alright. The party continues on its way. And now you're mere minutes away from Sarkozia. You can already see the city in the distance. But I need to roll something. Okay.
Spotted by patrol.
At least there's
No,
you should have stealthed.
I have to roll something very bad. So,
Oh, that's not good.
yes, sir.
20 minutes in and out, boys.
Here we go. Alright, thank God.
Is that good or bad? Oh, Jesus.
Well, I said thank God.
That's,
so I
that's
assume
really,
it's
really,
bad.
really, that's a good roll. That's a good roll.
Okay.
That means your whole party doesn't get fucked.
Oh.
I mean, I wouldn't want to get fucked.
Alright. Okay, so in front of you is the city of Sarkozia. What you're able to see from the distance that you're at is that the main gate is well guarded. Even from this distance, you can see the shine of silver on the armor of the individuals guarding the gate. You can see that very few people are moving in and out. It seems that the rumors that the River Drax told you are true indeed. Sarkozia has been claimed by this order, whatever it is. Your decisions are your own now. What will you do next?
I assume they aren't very approachable.
I didn't say that. I just said that that's what you see from the distance you're at. If you want to approach them, you can.
I mean,
Yes.
I'm just
Considering
saying,
that we know that the warden is in cahoots with them, I don't think we should really leave that to chance.
So
Do
going
you think
in-
they have a little ledger that they...
I mean, would I
So
be
they
able to
might
try to
actually
get a
have-
feel off of them from here, or
Good.
What was your question, Nick?
would I be able to get a feel off of them from here, or?
Now you're gonna have to get a lot closer to vibe check them.
Okay. I gotta get into smiting range.
From the
I
sounds
was
of
about
it,
to say, they probably don't have they probably do have a ledger of people that they can and can't allow in,
oh, obviously.
which means they may have a ledger of people that might be wanted criminals as well. But that's a long shot, maybe.
Mm,
We were talking
mean-
about maybe the easiest way to sneak in was through the charred wall or something. Anything?
the chard, they called it. And that there's a wall or something blocking it off from Sarkozia. At least that's what it sounded like anyway. But from the sounds of it, we would have to wade through these charred, whatever they are. We could always try to scout out the charred area and see how bad it is before, diving in.
You said that
I
there was
agree.
there was very little traffic leaving and entering, correct?
Yep.
But is there anyone leaving?
Yeah.
Then perhaps we ask one of them. If security's not as tight as we think it is, it may be as simple as entering through the front entrance.
Well.
Just because people are aware of these things, they may have some information.
Do we really think it's a good idea to just approach someone who's left the gate within range who may be a little bit...
I mean, I'm assuming we're on
Jumpy.
the same road, so we could just like meet up with them. Are we on the same road?
Yeah. If you want to be. I mean, you're scouting it out, so you're probably like in some bushes somewhere on a hill looking down. But you can just go to the road and meet up with people leaving if you really want to do that.
I'll just stand up and just look towards the direction.
I don't think that's the best of idea.
How
Considering,
else are we supposed to find out on how to get in, other than the people who are leaving and coming in?
yes, but if they're
I think the
able-
shower might be the only way through.
from what I'm going to say, from them being able to leave and enter, could mean that they're in the good graces of the Silver Rose, considering how apparently it's in lockdown just by the looks of it and what the Riverjack said.
Do they hold like? Do
Graces,
they look
yes,
like they
but-
hold any kind of position of like power?
Who?
The people coming in and out.
No.
They may be in good graces, but not everybody knows what our face looks like. I don't think we're, public enemy number one around here.
Mm,
But we
At
were.
least not with the silver hand or rose. I'm trying to think it's a different word entirely.
The
Well, I
warden
guess it's
did
whether or
meet us
not-
with something.
I guess it's whether or not you want to take the risk. I think heading through the Chard while the unknowns may be an issue. Probably a good idea. You were mentioning
think to
something
take the
about
risk.
You were mentioning something about the sewers. Do you believe there's a entrance there or something?
The only entrance we know of is actually in the city. Or in the prison. We don't know where else it leads to.
Maybe... Hold on, I have an idea. I'm gonna cast Sanding to Mr. Goodfields.
There is no response.
Okay.
Well, he's dead. Fuck.
Probably packed it up.
I mean, you can send it. It's sending. Doesn't really have much of a range.
If he's on a different continent, I don't think that has a...
I mean, he'd have to be in a different plane for a chance for it to fail.
Oh, okay.
Or
I
dead.
didn't know that. Oh, I
Or
didn't
dead.
know that. Just
And you know,
Mr. Goof. Anyways, that's not any of our concern currently.
it's my concern.
Well, Calvin's gonna look at the party and go, well, I don't see there being any harm if we approach a traveling caravan coming out and ask them, well, what's kind of going on?
If our backup
people
plan
get
is
in?
just to head in through where the charred are, then we may as well ask someone here. And if it seems fruitless, then we go anyway. Most of us are wearing. We're still wearing our cloaks, and people have dyed down their usual attire to look not like ourselves ish.
Yeah.
Doubt they'll be able to gather any useful information to send to the warden if he is still looking for us.
I'm a little bit more concerned about finding more out about the Silverhand. Why is the place on lockdown? What do they have an interest in it for?
Well, from the sounds of it, they came from the noble district. Maybe. Well, considering how much control and leeway they have over the walls, maybe they protected the noble district. Maybe they were like the royal guard or something, nobles.
We won't
They
know
never-
unless we ask somebody.
True.
The problem is, if they react badly, can we afford to run? If we get scundered,
Can
we
afford to turn
cannot
back
do
is the
anything.
question. Can they even turn back once they leave?
You can call out to the guards nearby, and that can be enough.
Well, you can wait to talk to them when they're pretty far away. So
That's why I was looking at the end of, like, you know, pretty far down the road.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
If you all want information, Yig's idea is probably the best. Otherwise, my vote is scouting out the Scar, whatever they call it.
Let's go hard.
I vote for the Scar as well.
I want to go talk to the people.
I'm just gonna be walking in that direction.
Alvin won't join you.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't take an entire group to talk to people, and I'm not gonna put it up to a vote on whether I'm just gonna be, you know, going to a very dangerous place.
You don't know if they're armed. I mean, what if
But
they
we
try
are.
to attack you? Yeah, that means you're threatening. Means if they have guards, they won't. You know. If you're going to
We
go,
can
we might as
just
well.
talk to them.
I understand that, but if you're going to
It's
go,
not
we
so
might as well all
complicated
go.
It's really not that fucking complicated. Stop being so presumptuous.
I'm being cautious.
I'm
Fine.
walking away.
I'm just,
Okay.
I'm just walking, dude. I ain't got time for.
We walk towards like the nearest caravan.
all right.
I was walking towards the edge, the
Oh.
like,
You're
like I
talking-
said before, I was gonna go
I
towards
get to a
the,
safe distance.
Yeah.
I got you. So you stand on the road a safe distance away that guards can't be heard, and one of the individuals that is walking out of the town appears to be a man with a kind of disheveled look to his face. His eyes are sort of hollow, as if he hasn't slept in some time, and he carries on his back a large bag filled with all sorts of things that press against the edges of it.
Excuse me, sir.
Aye. Oh, hail,
Grab my
stranger.
wallet. Excuse me. Would you have any knowledge on how to get into Sarkozia?
Why would you want to go there? Ain't no place to
business.
live. Ain't no place to live. Business,
We don't
huh?
plan on living. Yes.
Well, If you're gonna do any business there, then you're gonna have to get permission from that Order of the Silver Rose.
Alright. How exactly are they letting
tell
people
us.
in, if you could tell us?
I thought I knew, but apparently I was wrong.
What happened?
Well, first the Noble District was opened, and there was
Still not.
a lot of happiness. Everyone was ecstatic to see their brothers and sisters from the other side of the wall. The Gate Guardian had been slain, his brand ended, and his body put to rest by a group of adventurers. But what happened next? Something happened in the Noble District. Some sort of undead incursion. Something. A pulse of necromantic energy just leveled everything right outside the Noble District. Right through the scar. All the charred ones started riling up like we've never seen them before. It was chaos and panic. Those in charge, the Dawn, the Warden, and the Order, fought together to keep back the horde of undead. But in the midst of all that damn Warden and Sylvia, leader of the Silver Roses, decided that it would be best that the criminal element be removed. So the Dawn and all his boys were killed, and the heads put on pikes. After that, the riffraff was cleared out. The slums were purged. People that were able to be salvaged, they said, to be a part of the new order of Sarkozia, to the arrival of the sovereign, they said, would be kept, and all others would be exiled.
Right.
Well, we went and we got our papers. We signed up. We agreed to their terms. But then they started picking people, just revoking their status and kicking them out. That's what happened to me. I don't even know why. I wasn't told nothing. They barely gave me time to grab my things.
Well, we might have a place where you can stay.
Aye, where's that?
So it is back to the north, right?
It is north, yeah.
Okay.
We have a town, Lux's Will. It's about 5, maybe 6 days away from here. Over towards the north.
That's a long way. But I guess I really don't have any other choice. Lux's Will, you said?
Yes.
All right then. I suppose that's better than nothing.
Alright. Safe travels.
Good luck. And with that,
Before you be going, I have a question. I have a couple of questions I need to ask you. What's the kind of currency that you guys use in Sarkozia? Is it still silver?
oh, he's dust.
Okay. And
Before he does go, I would hand off, like, I don't know what he'd use it for exactly, but I'm gonna try and hand him off like 5 dust.
Oh,
Because I assume he doesn't, have.
well, thank you very much, stranger. This should be able to pay for food on me way.
Right.
good luck. Well, trying to think, is there anything else I would want to be asking you? Them charred, they're all railed up. How dangerous would you say they are?
Very dangerous. The Scar's forbidden territory now. They don't let anybody in or anybody out. If you ever get on the other side of the wall, they don't let you back in. You just get killed.
Okay.
But I do have a question about the guards.
Aye.
Have you seen any of their capabilities, like how strong they'd be in a group?
I'm no
separate?
warrior, I wouldn't know.
Oh.
Don't think that may be the best approach, Yig. Diplomacy will probably work better.
I'm just saying in case it happens.
Well, if it's all the same to you, I'd like to get going. I
Here we
don't
go,
want to
then.
linger around this place.
Of course.
Thank you for your
Thank you
kindness.
very much for your help.
All right. And the man will lift his pack over his shoulder again, and he will travel now with a new destination in tow.
It feels good doing good for the world.
All right.
Meanwhile, everything else is burning.
The party regroups. What do you guys do now? I'm going to go to the bathroom while you talk that up. You're back.
I assume you'll just relay everything to us.
Yeah, basically.
Yep.
I mean, unless you want to roleplay that, Calvin.
Nope.
Yeah.
I specifically don't want to roleplay that because we're gonna roleplay the argument.
Yeah, I
where we're
don't
going
want
to
to.
go.
I don't want to roleplay repeating myself.
Yeah.
I refuse to read back and check the script.
I'm not checking the script. I'm not reading back. That's what the bot is for.
So, our options, at least from what you're saying, that I can tell, is 1, head through the front gate and possibly get in if we clear some sort of checklist, and if for whatever reason we do something wrong, or maybe you all get recognized, possibly a suicidal attempt, or we get put in chains or something.
I mean,
Second,
we
attempt to sneak in through the char and find some way in.
I mean, a suggestion, we could just cling to one of the people who are already coming in, or just ask them.
I don't think
Yeah.
that's a better idea.
I mean, probably not, but it's out there on the table if we have to do anything or say anything.
Well, first we would have to get whoever this is trust, and who knows, maybe they have already some sort of documentation to let them back into the city. In which case, if we're coming along, that's obviously, 2 and 2 not adding up to 4.
If anything,
Like I
Since
also
when-
mention. Oh, I'm sorry, Sashiv. You can go ahead.
if anything, it sounds like they already have a record of everyone that they are allowing to stay in the city. If we were to pass something, then they would have us on record as well. It seems if they're revoking that just all out of the blue, sounds like some kind of intensive screening process, much like what the warden was doing with the vessels in the prison.
Let's see. Third, we could try to look for some alternative means to get into the city. Considering it's a city, there's possibly some. Well, you relayed everything. So. Well, he did say the criminal element was removed, at least the known one, but there's always the potential of underground ones. I mean, there could be alternate entrances or exits that were made by such people. I've seen a few of those be used, typically when they smuggle the legal items into a city or out, or if somebody needs to disappear.
My
Or
biggest concern is probably that our one entrance that we were recommended seems to be getting less and less fruitful. Because it said, once you're on the other side of that wall, they don't let you in. Who's to say they'd not have posted guards on the other side? If we were to come out from the charred area, who's to say they'd even let us live, making it through that?
true.
Nikoi literally said that we just get killed.
Well, in that case, the
There'd be a
safest
lot of
option.
speaking.
The safest option in that case then is 4. And although I wouldn't really call this fruitless, considering all the information we now have, we could return to the Spire and regroup there and do something else. Because as far as I can see, our 2 main options of getting into the city are both potentially suicidal in a sense. Our third, which is to try and look for a alternative means, like a hidden tunnel that was dug out by some ne'er-do-wells. Or our fourth, which is just simply to return home. and regroup and replan with this information. If anything, if we tell this to
I think it'd be easier to replan.
yes, if we reconvene with Rima, with her knowledge in warfare and such, that could be she could have a new insight on this, a new angle, at least with her knowledge of war.
We do that.
How many
We'd
moons
have
have
to-
we been out here?
At least a week.
Oh, great.
We should still have enough supplies to make it back.
Right.
If we go today, I was wondering, well, maybe we could go a couple of days without fasting. We could probably spend a day or two trying to explore for another alternative route.
Possibly.
Bar that we don't get caught, we could go back
I'm back.
to back up to Lux's will. Regroup
Yeah.
after that.
What's it gonna be, guys?
I don't think we can really spend any more days. You mentioned that fellow who you sent on the way to Lux's will. Maybe we could spend a day, get as many people that have been forced out to head that way and travel with them.
We could. I wouldn't mind that.
I would see the
Sort of
only,
shepherd them back to the fold.
give them a place to stay.
Doesn't seem that any of them had anywhere else to go. So,
Might get the attention of the Silver Rose, though. They see us
Yeah.
sniping their folks. Plus, they don't seem to be doing well. They won't probably have much food or supplies. So we'd have to find supplies on the way to bring with them. Moving people is not that easy.
True.
I mean,
Maybe we
did that
can-
on their
Maybe we can catch up
Thanks.
to that one fellow you sent and make sure he at least gets to home.
right.
That we probably could do.
Could at least make sure that one of them's safe.
Alright, so we've been discussing, and ultimately we have 4 options at hand that we know of. 1, through the main gates, potentially suicidal. 2, through the Charred, potentially suicidal. 3, look for an alternative means to enter the city, like potentially a hidden tunnel made by ne'er-do-wells. You get the gist. And 4th is to head back to home base and reconvene with like Rima and see if we can get a better angle and do something else.
Okay, what are you going to do?
I think we're gonna go back, replan,
One second.
or maybe just do, a different order. And Omens.
Could we at least check out the chart at least? See what the situation is there. Possibly get more information for Sloppy Pops.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. We just have to risk patrols or anything like that. I can keep us pretty well hidden for at least 2 hours, by my estimates.
Worried about patrols when we're going to be investigating a pile of ravenous undead people. I'd be more concerned with the undead people, guys.
We don't know
Yeah.
about undead and chart.
Oh, we don't have. Well, we know the charred entities in there, but if anything, we don't have to get too close. At least an eagle eye view over it, get an idea of what the lay of the land is. Maybe not the best, but get an idea.
Right.
I'd say we do that before we formulate another plan.
Agreed.
So everyone with an agreement to see if we can scout out the charred area real quick.
Scouting it out.
Yeah, we're just
sure, I
scouting it out,
guess.
we're not
Yeah.
moving.
Yeah, just to get an idea of what it looks like, so we can bring the data back to Rima.
Yeah, so that we actually know what we're about to fuck with.
So you're scouting up the scar?
Yes.
Yes.
All right,
Scar.
make me survival checks.
All of us, or just our rangers?
You make it as a group, so everybody roll it.
Okay.
Hey, not bad, guys.
Yeah, we
Now
all
we're
got above a
rolling
10.
decent.
All right, make me stealth checks.
How many hours would this be?
Depends on how long you scout out.
Because I have Pass Without a Trace, and that can help us for at least 2 hours.
Yeah, I'm aware that you have the spell. If you're trying to ask me if it's a smart thing to do, that's up to you. It depends on how long you're going to be out there.
I mean, I say cast it up to a point where we could, I don't know, do it twice.
Yeah, that's 2 hours then. You
Yeah.
guys fine with just doing for 2 hours?
I thought I was thinking 4 hours.
Well, I can only
You can
do
only
it
do it
twice.
for 2.
Oh, do you not have any spell slots,
Fine
or
with 2 hours.
That is
I-
my spell slots.
oh, you just have one?
The normal spell
Right.
lasts an hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, but
All right.
yeah,
Oh, I'm rolling at disadvantage.
Yeah,
you-
I'll use Pass Without a Trace to help us. So
Why did you roll at disadvantage?
No, I have to roll at disadvantage. I'm wearing heavy armor. So do you.
Oh, right, that is true. But
Same for me.
ooh, 18.
that was
thank
someone else.
God. So
this is 16.
So roll again. Otherwise, it's just a 15. Yeah, it'll be a 15 then.
Do I
28.
need to roll again because I'm rolling at advantage?
Yeah.
No? Yeah, okay. 20.
30.
30.
Yeah, plus 10 from Pass Without Trace for all of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so what you discover is on the outside of the district wall of where the scar can be found, there is already a lot of heavy damage. Some of the charred ones have already kind of spilled out through, but it seems that most of the structure is intact. You can see that there are guards. You're on the eastern side of the wall, and on the roundness of the wall there is a northern and southern side where you can see Order of the Silver Rose have set up barricades to prevent the undead from crawling up and over and around to get to the districts. And you can even see now that some of them are just getting shot at by the Order. They're just getting culled as they come out. But yeah, it's pretty dangerous. Not only are there guards watching, but there's just chock fulls of charred undead.
Yeah, that's two sides we'd probably be getting shot from, so
yeah.
no. Doesn't seem good.
I don't think we're prepared to sneak in from the looks of it.
Yeah, no,
We're lacking a lot of, well, things, really.
manpower.
Well, knowledge, because roughly, just from base assumption, if there's no entrance to the sewers, we would have to somehow climb that wall and get over, which is a dangerous feat in its own right.
Yeah, this place is pretty tore up, right?
What do you mean? The wall?
The
Yeah.
scar. The,
Yeah,
like, well, I
scars.
just mean the.
Yeah, the scar is messed up.
Are
It's
there any
called-
like
It's called the scar for a reason.
right? But this, if the scar used to be like there are like destroyed buildings and stuff. This used to be a part of Sarkozia.
It is still technically a part of Sarkozia, but you're on the outside wall, so you're
Okay.
not inside the city. But yeah, it's filled with collapsed buildings, like destroyed facilities, things like that.
Place looks
I-
absolutely trashed.
I
I
suppose.
assume we probably, like, walking around here, would we have at least found, like, would there be a way to get in through the sewers, or would that be guarded too?
Well, we're on the outside. If we were on the inside, maybe.
Hmm.
But that would
Hmm.
be putting us in the line of fire.
There is one way that you could attempt to get into the sewer.
And that is?
No,
Well, you know where the sewers connect. You would have to delve to the underworld below,
Oh,
and
right.
you know a couple of ways to do that. But
That
the
is
journey
true.
would be long and arduous, as you would have to deal with whatever has happened since you've left the underworld. And who knows what the Master below has been up to.
well, if we can't get in contact.
DM
with
warning,
them,
this will not be a 20-minute adventure in and out real quick, I promise.
Oh no,
Okay. We know.
Mhm.
we gave
We
we gave up that option back at the base.
We probably can't even go back at this point. It's got, like, it's
Oh, we
over a
can go
few months
back.
to fester.
We got enough supplies to go back to.
He means
well,
to the underworld.
No, we don't
Yeah.
got supplies to do that.
Oh, yeah, we definitely don't have supplies. only brought enough for roughly over 2 weeks.
Well,
At
we
least on my
spent
end.
2 hours
You've
scouting
went
around.
down.
We spent 2 hours scouting around. Do we want to go with the alternative and just walk up to the front of the gate and ask them how you get into the city?
I mean,
Could be worse.
Yeah. I mean, if we get told no, we can just go back, replan.
well, the issue then is if we are found acceptable, we get in. Or if we try to leave after the fact.
Or hear me out. We could send the person who no one knows to go and ask.
True.
And then, if they get told no, we can go back.
See if at least he has something that prevents others from getting in. Though I doubt he'd be able to relay it to us anyway. If he did get through the gate, if Axel did get through the gate.
Yeah.
Aside from Chrotus sending a sending message.
Yeah, but then I'd be on my own in enemy territory. And I don't think that's the best of ideas. I'm confident in my navigating skills, but not navigating through a city full of enemies.
Well,
Not all of them are enemies.
Well, not all, but what I'm saying is, I don't think that's the wisest of moves. I know
I'm
I
gonna
was
be in
saying,
agreement.
I know I was saying earlier that I'm unknown, but I was thinking under the assumption we could easily get into the city, not like this.
Yeah, there'd be no way to come back or up if we did go in.
Right then.
I have some colours I might want to suggest.
Right?
You said that the walls look already pretty beaten up as they are, right, Arcadum?
For the scar, yeah.
What if we press a finger into the wound, possibly break the wall down?
I don't think
Let
we
the
have that
undead
kind
into
of...
the city?
I'm assuming that the guards would probably hear that and rush towards it.
Yeah,
That-
and with an influx of undead coming our way, they'd be preoccupied.
how would we get in? If they're already unleashing whatever they have against them. They already have mounted ballistas. I doubt we'd just slip
Well,
by.
That's actually a good piece of information, because if the wall... If we do end up, assaulting the city later down the line with Rima, that would be a good piece of information as a way to distract the enemies by blowing through the scar, which is already heavily damaged. We can create, as far as we know, siege weapons of war through the Soul Foundry.
Right.
Just,
Found some pretty useful stuff on our way here anyways, so...
I think ultimately this was a very fruitful trip, even if it wasn't what we intended to do.
Right.
You're
Yeah, we
going
should
back
try it.
empty-handed.
Well, not necessarily.
Not completely.
Maybe not for what we originally came for, but we definitely have a lot of information that we've gathered, and not to mention these supplies of that shard, the pool of water that's infused with mana. We've learned quite a few things.
Wouldn't be too hard to go find that guy that we sent around too.
Yeah.
We'd probably
Yeah.
catch up with him.
At the pace he was moving, it shouldn't be taught.
Yeah. Could probably catch up fairly quickly.
But I say we do have one little bit of something we can use as leverage, at least to get some information from the silver ones.
Aye.
The ring.
No, do you?
Being the ring.
I could, if no one else will, I could take the ring up to them, and I can just say, this was something that we found, or this was something I found. And I'm simply returning it where it belongs. Perhaps maybe they'd be more amenable to give information. If it comes simply down to the fact that they need to register us before we enter, then that's a lot simpler than having to go all the way back just to plan something that we don't even have the forces for.
Right.
Might be a good way to get in, actually. Well, not get in, but get a way to get information out. We just walk up, we'll be like, hey, we were traveling around. found a local, asked him about this ring as we found. They said it was from here. Can you tell us a little bit more about yourselves? What's the Silver Hand? What's been going on in Sarkozia? We haven't been here in how many months, boys? 2, 3?
Let's make it
Possibly
4
longer.
so that they don't think that we're runaways.
About a season.
It could have been before they've taken over. You know, maybe we're coming back.
Now that I think
like-
back of the day that we fled the city, there was quite a commotion happening then.
Yeah.
You don't think that this was when it broke out? do you?
What?
When we
Probably
initially
perk
fled
up
the
at
city,
that idea.
when we initially fled the city, there was some sort of commotion happening that allowed us to slip out, even though we were already being pursued by people of the Maylease affiliation. Completely distracted them from where we were. We were able to get information from Marikar's archives, and then made haste to leave the city.
Right.
It could be related in some way, considering the fact that his forces were already there.
We don't have any clue on how strong these forces actually are, and even if we did manage to distract them, who knows how quickly they take care of it.
Out of curiosity, have we actually seen any guards outside the walls?
No.
Hmm.
Well,
Maybe.
a small patrol outside, but no like exceeding distance. No, nothing more than like 50 feet.
I was gonna say, it doesn't look like they're exactly afraid of leaving, just rather too comfortable not to decide against it.
Possibly.
Yeah.
It's like
City.
this place is a capital, and you know it's designed to be held for long periods of time under siege.
Self-sustaining is the word you're looking for.
Thank you.
I'm just saying, if we're going to take our shot, we do it now. If we have to flee, we'll flee. If
say
they
we
don't
should
let us
do it.
in, it's even simpler of a decision.
Right.
If we have to flee, I don't have my spells to keep us hidden, since we use that to investigate the scar.
But you got 2 working legs.
Oh, I know I've got 2 working legs, but they could possibly have, well, horses and other particular things to catch up to us.
I think they'd waste their time on a band of strangers when they've got so much to deal with.
You'd be surprised what guards would do to relieve some boredom.
Ladies, it's getting late here.
Right.
We got to be going. So are we going up to the wall or not?
My vote is we return back to base.
I think we should at least try.
I think we should try as well.
Because it went well last time when we talked to the stranger.
Didn't seem like they were mostly instilling fear, though they did know their place. If he was fearful for his life, after the fact of leaving the city, he wouldn't have even bothered to stop to chat.
Right. And it's not like these are the people who are actually running it themselves. These are just guards. They're just doing their job.
Excuse me, I had something in my throat. Crotty boy, what do you think? Should we go walk up and chat him up?
I don't feel comfortable walking up, but I think Yig and Sashiv go up wouldn't be a bad idea.
Fine with that.
Right.
3.
Should I follow behind them?
Do you remember what I said about my my persuasion and my intimidation?
Yep.
All right.
I don't think it'd be a good idea.
So,
to
confirming
intimidate
actions.
Obviously, but I'm just saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're doing that. We're
Yeah,
sending
well-
Sashiv and Egg. You.
Before they approach, Sashiv's going to remind them 3 things not to say. Don't bring up the warden, don't bring up our new city, and don't bring up any information that we have so far. We're ignorant.
So the party's approaching the front door.
Are we splitting the party or are we?
Yeah, what's happening?
Just Yeah, I was gonna ask, is it just gonna be me and Sashiv, or you guys coming too?
Axel, Chrotus, or you guys want to come, or are you gonna stay behind?
I would want to stay back, but I can give you something to, you know, pardon the pun, give you a silver tongue.
You will not.
Okay, so Yig and Sashiv are leading, Calvin's following, Chrotus is buffing, and
I'm
Axel's
going to stay behind
staying
with
behind.
Axel and Chrotus.
Okay, so who's
Okay,
talking
never
to
mind.
me?
Yig.
Ig and Sashiv.
All right, two of you approach, and you're approaching the front door. Yes, confirming.
Mhm.
Yes.
All right, two of you approach the front door. You can see that there are a pair of guards that are standing in front of the gates, and the gates are slightly open. You can see up on the wall that there are several marksmen wielding crossbows. They are not hostile, but their crossbows are loaded. As you approach, one of the guards put up his hand. Hold there, stranger. You stand before the gates of Sarkozia and the Order of the Silver Rose. State your business, and do you have permission?
We are just coming here. We're trying to look for business. And, we did happen to come across something on the way here, and, it did seem to belong to you guys, so...
You have something that belongs to the Order of the Silver Rose.
Sashiv.
You have it, don't you?
Oh, I thought you had it. Oh,
No,
right.
you.
Ignore that. I'm just gonna pull out the ring. I'm gonna.
The man will take the ring from you and look at it. And where did you acquire this?
I look at Sashiv.
Ways down the road. Maybe a day or two's travel. We came across an overturned carriage, stricken with black arrows.
The two men will look
black-
at each other with meaningful glances. Wait here.
Right.
He will take the ring with him and he will go inside the city. You are waiting there for about 10 to 15 minutes before he returns. You're to keep your weapon sheathed, and you're to come with me.
Of course.
Understood.
All right, you are brought inside the city. What do the rest of you do?
Well, they're in, I think.
Now
Let's
what?
keep an eye out then. See if we need anything or a distraction.
Well, I think we can. I guess we could wait a little longer. We can send a message to them in a bit. Let's have faith. Let's have faith in the matron, and hope luck is on their side.
Calvin starts setting up a
Right.
two-person tent and goes, "You know they are the two most capable people in our party. I think they'll be able to get their way through and be able to find us when they get out. So
Yes,
let's
we
wait."
can.
While we're waiting, I'll keep an eye out just as a mini watch.
Oh, I'm keeping an eye out. Well,
All right.
Who you calling Pinhead?
Who you calling Pinhead? All right, Sashiv and
The
Ig.
bold move, split the party.
Punk. Ugh.
No, I gotta remove these old tokens.
Man, the old tokens, am I right? It's almost like yesterday I was sitting in old Yig's armor. Or Oron's, technically.
Calvin, I spy with my little eye something beginning with W.
Calvin will lay back, go. What about watchful sentry?
No?
No shit. Here we go.
He isn't any walker.
Oh, let me get
Take
that.
another guess.
A worried party for our comrades?
Come, Calvin, lighten up a little.
Oh my god.
The answer was
I don't be known.
The answer was bitches.
That's not a W.
Author's note.
It's a
really
rock!
hard to play I Spy when
It's
you're
a
not
rock!
on the map.
It's hard to play I Spy when you're blind.
It's a rock, a great big rock. Oh my god.
Alright,
And
so
punch SpongeBob in the mouth.
essentially what happens is that you and Sashiv are led through the city, and there's a couple of things I need you to do. First, I need you to roll me some perception checks, and then insight checks.
I can't even roll because my map's not loaded.
Oh, your map's not loaded yet?
Or
Okay.
actually, no.
It's my
I guess I
screen's
can technically.
just black.
Yeah.
It's black. It
If
should
you
be
hit
black.
C, you can bring up your character sheet and you can roll it through there.
Oh,
I
okay.
am not. I don't have my map loaded yet either. So this is a fat boy.
Yeah, remember the last time we were here?
What are you, fat?
Loading hell!
Give me a second, I'm just refreshing.
Good old Sarkozia. The horrible.
Man, I
old
miss
times.
these issues. Well, this was my biggest worry.
97.
2 hours later.
What
I'll
was
wait till
the
you-
answer? Chrotus.
The answer was wankers.
I had a feeling.
Oh, there we go. It's not loaded, but it's loading in.
So you
Okay.
can still, hit C. You can open your character sheet and you can roll it through your attributes, perception, and then we can both roll insight if we see anything.
Perception and insight.
Yeah, so roll perception first, see if we actually notice anything.
That's a
Also
bad
should
one.
note, before you continue here, we seem to be having stream troubles with buffering.
I think that's
That's
just
true,
because
Jack?
we're loading the big map.
Oh, that's 2 nat ones in a row.
That
Fun.
that should not matter. That doesn't make any sense why that would affect my internet connectivity. I'm checking it. It was red for a second, but it looks like it's corrected itself.
Yeah, it looks like it. 99. Give it up for 99%.
Hey, I can see.
Oh, I'm loaded in. Oh, nice. And I could see everything.
All right, it looks like we're good.
We're
Okay,
back.
that's fucking weird. All right, anyway. So Sashiv and Yig, with your checks, you can see that there is certainly a palpable tension in the air in Sarkozia that was not there the last time you were here. I wouldn't say that the people were happy in Sarkozia, but they were not afraid, at least not to the level that they are now. There is a discernible fear that can be felt throughout the area. So you are currently surrounded by guards, but I don't want to add more tokens and cause more loading issues, so you're just surrounded. But there is one individual that steps out from the observatory, which is where you were taken. The observatory, it seems, has been transformed into a headquarters for the Order of the Silver Rose, and you can see that their banners have furled out over the top of it. And you can see that the doors are heavily guarded. All right, and you see this woman step out.
I'm sweating.
All right, take a big, long look.
My eyes elongate.
Oh my.
What a cool helmet.
Sorry.
Thank you, Corporal. That will be all. So, you are the travelers I have to thank for recovering one of our rings.
That's correct.
Right.
I will require a full debriefing. Tell me what it is that you saw and how you came to be there.
We were heading from the north, as I recall. And as we came by, there was seemed like a war zone. Overturned carriage, destroyed mechanical steeds, or stone, whatever you would call them, and just strewn with bodies. One of them, everything from that camp had been looted. The only thing that we found was found by my friend here, a ring amongst the mud. And one thing that we noticed was that most of the ones that were assaulted, it was a very precise strike on their caravan.
Yes.
Arrows adorned with blackened feathers.
Blackened feathers, you say?
Correct.
Do you have any of those feathers with you?
No,
I do not.
currently.
I see. Are they still at the battlefield?
The arrows
should be.
themselves.
Very well. We shall investigate that most thoroughly. Can you tell me, whom did you find killed there? Can you describe their faces, their clothing, how many there were? Did any of the attackers die?
What we saw, there were several bodies, both in and outside the carriage. Guards posted, perhaps, ones in different sorted attire. One of them beheaded. And she'll kind of describe what the head... she'll describe the people that they saw as best as she can. Outfits adorned, and they look more noble or more like security.
I see. Unfortunate. I have a suspicion on who you have found, but we will need to confirm. Ranger, she will look towards one of the silver roses. Take these instructions and take them to the head. And then, once you are done, move out towards the west. Find this battlefield. Collect all you can find. And report back to me. Yes, my lady. Now then, it seems that you are newcomers to Sarkozia, yes?
Would be true, yes.
Alright, that's a lie, so I need some deception checks.
The cast enhanced ability on him, so it should be at advantage.
Which one did you augment?
On Yig.
No, I meant which ability score?
Oh, it was charisma.
Okay.
Yeah, you did say we're supposed to be lying to these guys, right?
Well, I mean, not that specifically. We could have told them we'd been here before.
Oh, fuck. Hey, can I have the takesies backsies, please?
Negative.
Oh.
No, but you could elaborate if you want to add something.
You're not there.
But I'm not there. So
I'm there. I didn't say
ask
anything
me
yet.
what to do.
I would say that I did not live here, though there were times where I'd visit.
I see. How long ago did you live here? Or visit?
Several months at least.
Ah, that's
Definitely before any of this happened.
I see. Well, there are new things that you will have to get used to, I suppose. As you have performed a service for the Order of the Silver Rose, we are going to bypass the initial requirement of trial for you to gain access to the city, and therefore I shall create for you a temporary silver badge. This will allow you to enter and exit as you see fit. It is temporary, however, as we must learn to trust one another. As such, you will be allowed the use of the marketplace in the residential district. You are forbidden from entering the noble district as well as the scar. The slums, although they are distasteful, are slowly being gentrified and refurbished. I hope that you will find them accommodating to yourself. You are to remain here until our investigation is complete to ensure that you are not ne'er-do-wells in and of your own self. And once it has been determined the actual happenings, your badges shall be revoked, or they shall be issued permanently, depending on our findings. Oh, and should you attempt to leave, you shall be, of course, assumed to be enemies and executed summarily. Do we understand each other?
Crystal clear.
Excellent.
Indeed.
Welcome to Sarkozia. Corporal, see them to the favelas. And Sylvia...
I'll give a bow before leaving.
All right, and she will re-enter the observatory.
Bitch didn't even return it.
She did not. All right. Congratulations, you two. You got in.
Woo! Woo! Woo!
We left alone for a moment.
The corporal eventually leads you to the favelas, but I'm not going to switch maps right now because I don't want to.
Oh, I'm just saying. Do we have a brief? Do I
but,
have a brief?
But you have
moment
time to be
with
alone.
you?
Yes, you're left alone. Yeah.
Dick, are we to give them? Are we to tell the others? I'm sure Chrotus will call us soon, but should we tell her that there are others, or should we deal with this ourselves?
They might get suspicious.
Yes, but if we are able to somehow secure a way to be here, and then they suddenly show up,
Do let me know how this will sound. Two people who you already do not trust come in, and immediately they give you something. They tell you that you are alone, by yourself, no one else, and then suddenly other people pop out.
we didn't
It's
give them
a
any.
little bit suspicious.
We didn't give them any reason to think we were alone.
I guess that's
We
true,
simply,
though.
you said simply we were here to do business. Who's to say that we came here and we saw that this place was different than how we remember it, and so we took caution and didn't bring our rest of our group with us. Simply inquiring information is not illegal, I assume here. She seems very forward. Would you prefer we lie to them? I'm fine with it either way.
I mean, we can try, I guess.
I'm simply saying if she's affiliated with the Warden in any way and some sort of check is run, it may be harder for us to make a story that makes sense if he actually recognizes us. Though he has a higher chance of recognizing me than you.
Speaking of which, make me perception checks.
Perception. There we go. Found you. Yig's muscles are tensing up.
Also, we are cloaked. Sashiv does not have her horns, and Axel did mess up my face and hair. Probably pulled it back or something.
I'm just gonna try and set this up for flavor, because I don't know how the fuck I'd wear a hood, but I'm just gonna use the fur on my cloak as a hood. I
Okay.
guess. Yeah.
Well, whilst you're in the favelas and all that good stuff, you hear someone cry out.
What do they say?
It is a cry of pain and the sound of a whip cruelly cutting into their flesh.
Yig's fists are tightening.
Puts her hand towards you and shakes her head.
All right. Well, eventually, you do hear the crying out turn to deep whimpers and moans. You hear a man's voice speak just on the other side of the wall, dripping with cruelty and malice. Well, well, well. What do we have here? Looks like someone doesn't have their badge. The person tries to cry out, but is choked their answer away as the rope tightens around them. Well, well, we can't be having that now, can we, boys? Looks like we got another volunteer. The man will cry out, "No, please! Please!" as he is knocked unconscious. As Yig and Sashiv hide away in their favela, unseen, walking by the window, you see him. The warden. Although this time, far more elaborate is his dress, for no longer is he just the warden of Malice Prison, but he is a more powerful individual. His position increased exponentially since his deal with the Order of the Silver Rose. He wears a wicked armor and carries a set of wicked weapons. His men walk behind him no longer in the disshapen, lower tier weaponry that they once had, but now they are well armed and well dressed and dripping with superiority. Alright, you guys want to see him?
Yes.
Alright, you see this
I'm not
guy?
happy about it, but I want to see him.
You see this guy walk by.
Oh my.
Fuck.
I was about to say he looks painfully similar. Not for something I was alive for, but like.
Looks badass. I
Yeah,
wanted to make him look
badass.
like a corpse, though.
I think they'd look, better.
Dick looking motherfucker.
Dead. Just bleeding out. That'd be pretty cool. It's not very. Yeah.
Alright. To the others outside, a short time passes, about no more than an hour, and then you see that the gates open, and on the backs of stone horses, riding founders, you can see a small squadron of the Order of the Silver Rose come riding past. A ranger and a few knights. They move with a blinding speed, right past you, down the road, and off in the direction that you had come from.
Don't think that's good. Or Chrotus,
Yes?
I think it's time you sent that message.
I think you had the spell slot today. I tried to message Goodfields on the way out.
It might have been the day
Yeah,
before,
capacity
wasn't it?
energy. Sorry, I'm interrupting you.
Are you
You're
good?
the magic.
Right. I think it might have been the day before, but I'll just check.
You still got a slot.
I am perspirating.
Yep, I'll trust you there.
Yeah.
Right, I will cast Sending to Sashiv. Sashiv, do you need assistance? What's happening? What's it like in there? We're waiting outside. Appreciate a quick response.
Your response?
I'm just making sure it's not too long.
25 words is the limit.
Yep.
The message is sending. Just give it a second. It's still loading.
You must have a good connection in Conflux.
Okay, exactly 25
Come on,
words.
Fuji.
The lockdown is worse than we thought. Without a badge, you'll be tortured. We are safe for the time being. Message us tomorrow for more details.
As I hear that, I would say the words out loud to Calvin and Axel to make sure that they heard it as well.
So they're stuck.
Not necessarily.
Well, effectively they're stuck.
But not trapped. That's the important thing.
True.
They did say we should message them tomorrow. That's what's up. All is going to wait, anyways. And if that
Yes.
doesn't work, well, I'll at least come up and ask them what happened.
I think in the meantime, we may need to find someplace to set up camp. Could be here a while.
Calvin will usher his hands around because he already set up his two-person tent in the last scene.
Well, let's make sure this is hidden, and I'm going to work to try to obfuscate this little tent. If we're going to be staying here, we probably don't want to be spotted too easily.
Indeed.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
Should have brought the banjo. Shit.
Nearly should have.
Could have spent the day. Could have spent the night plucking away.
Should have brought your DS. Now
Alrighty.
it's fine.
As you wait it out, they will return. You see that as they return, that there are several packs on their back, and you recognize some of them as corpses.
Like,
Okay.
Any
Vessel
chance it's the
corpses.
headless one that Yig made among them?
As they arrive. Okay. As they arrive, once again, Sashiv and Yig are transported back in front of the observatory to stand before Sylvia Vase once more. This time, however, she is not alone.
Oh.
Just that fucking warden, I swear to God.
Alright, you guys see these individuals.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh no!
Okay. As the two of you are brought forward, Sylvia will turn, and the warden will also take a look at you. Sylvia will walk forward and will say, "So, the investigation has been concluded. It is by our accounts that what you have said happened is most likely to have occurred, although you failed to mention that one of the corpses had been beheaded.
No, I
We
did mention
told
that.
you.
Did you?"
Yes.
Twice.
We did tell them. That,
Yeah, I did say one of them was decapitated, but I did mention the ones that were headed and their attire.
Oh, that's my
I
bad.
did specifically say that.
I didn't hear you say that. All right. Anyway, scratch that. And she will say, "In either case, it seems that everything that you have said has checked out. So therefore, I have only but a few more questions. The first, I suppose, is what was your original, shall we say, reason for traveling in that area?"
I'll look towards Sashiv.
We were on our way to Sarkozia from the coast, hearing that there was a potential place for business.
What kind of business?
To be clear, Zarkel's vault is outside of Sarkozia, right?
Nope,
It's in the Noble District.
it's in the Noble
Fuck.
District.
Fucking, we're not allowed to go in there.
Just trying to think of a way to word this that isn't a lie. Honestly, any business that will result in us requiring dust. We don't have much. Especially between us.
She'll raise an eyebrow. That did not answer my question.
It's a simple fact that money runs things, doesn't it?
Your attempts at beleaguering into philosophy notwithstanding, what business did you hope to attend here?
Shit.
Any available mercenary work? As you can see, we're both capable and strong. But we're not picky when it comes to work. While the details may be slim, it's all we can do to get by.
Mercenary work. And of which mercenary group do you belong?
Can't say we're affiliated with any current mercenary affiliation. We were shacked up with some riverjacks for a little while, but that didn't last long.
I see. Well, one does what one must, but now you are no longer required to sully yourselves with such individuals. Very well. I see no reason to deny you your silver badges. Warden? Begging your kindness, Captain. All right, you lot, don't lose these. Without them, I'm afraid you might have to spend some time in the malice. He'll hand out his silver badge to Ig, and he will hand one out to Sashiv.
I will firmly grasp it.
And as he hands it out to Sashiv, he'll kind of narrow his eyes a little bit. You know, you look a bit familiar. Do I know you from somewhere?
We're still surrounded by guards, right?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Can't say I've met someone like you before.
Can you speak up? I can barely hear you guys.
She'll kind of look up and down his attire and say, "Can't say I've seen someone quite like you before."
Well, we've got places to be.
You have to make me deception check on that one, Sashiv.
He does look different than I remember.
Yeah, but no. That's not good
Can-
enough
can
to
I-
avoid the roll.
Can I just, push
What's
us
this?
along?
He might look different, but he's still like himself.
Fair. So just deception.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Oh,
I was just trying to push us along, man.
Well, I had to answer his question.
The ward will kind of raise an eyebrow. Huh. Alright then. I'll hand you the silver badge.
Thank you.
Alright, the warden will take a step back. You'll notice as he does, though, his eyes linger on you, Sashiv.
I'm staring at him.
A little bit of a smile can be seen underneath his beard. But he'll hide it whenever Sylvia looks at him. Alright then. It seems our business is concluded. You are hereby welcomed into Sarkozia. As for mercenary work, we do have quite a bit of it available in case you want to help us clear out the unfortunate charred ones in the scar. There is also some merchants, I believe, that require bodyguarding and any such work. Or, if you believe that yourself pure enough, you could always attempt to join our order. Although, she'll take a moment to kind of look you over. I would need to be impressed. In either case, the decision is yours. Welcome to Sarkozia. I bid you good day.
Before you leave, just to clarify, so we don't go stepping on any toes, you said that we are to keep our distance from both the Charred, unless we get work there, and the Noble District, correct?
You are to go nowhere in which you are not invited or allowed.
Understood. I simply wish to clarify.
She'll leave.
Didn't even get to answer the other question.
The warden will kind of step up. I don't take it so straightforward. She's a right frosty queen, she is. But if you're looking for any better work, better paying at least, you can always come to me. I'll be needing strong backs and hands, what be finding those that escaped me prison. Or those that didn't escape, but me prison still needs to get filled, eh? He'll slap his leg. Come on by if you want to make some real dust.
My eyes will follow him as he leaves.
She will pretend like she's looking at the badge just to not look at him.
Alright.
I don't... God, I hate that guy.
Man, I hate that guy.
She'll put her hand on Yig's shoulder. And she'll chuckle. Hardest sport's over, right?
He'll look over to you.
I want him dead.
Oh, I know. So do I. But I suggest we keep our voices and I suggest we keep our tones light. At least within the walls. I'll break something as soon as we leave.
Okay.
I say we reconvene. The sooner the better. Whether we choose to stay is irrelevant. We have a way in. We just need to find a way to make sure that it's stable. And I don't like the look he gave me.
Alright.
Let's meet with the others. Settle it.
What?
Let's meet with the others. Settle it. As if we simply need to gather what we need from the camp. They're not going to investigate a bunch of river jats.
Of course.
So we're heading back to the entrance.
Okay. And so you head back towards the entrance.
Here we go.
Dokily.
Man, they are right. Being in the hot seat burns.
Everybody talks the big game till it's their turn. Okay.
If we're lucky, he doesn't think I'm an escaped prisoner. Maybe he thinks I'm just some forgetful whore.
Probably. Hopefully.
Hey, sweetheart, didn't I see you at the brothel? No.
Okay.
Lamau
So-
chops head off.
Oh no.
Alright, you guys head towards the gate. You show your silver badges, and you are allowed to leave. And you exit to go out to meet with the rest of your party. All of you make me perception checks.
Does that include us outside the gate?
That includes the people outside the gate, yes.
Oh, wait, where's mine? Oh, no, that's low.
Alright, pretty good average.
Has it, just real quick, has it been a day since they've been in?
No.
Oh, okay.
That was a quick fucking...
They weren't gone that
Yeah,
Yeah,
long.
they hit the
They were just running a background check to make. That's why they said the carriage came by. They were light.
And the
fast
battlefield
getting that
was
shit
only a
done.
day away on foot, and they're riding fucking Founders. They're gonna get there quick.
And just making sure in case of long resting and such.
I wish I could have my founder.
Okay.
Specifically of the avian kind and also can fly.
Okay. As you move out to meet with your party, when you get to about the point that you and Chrotus and Calvin and Axel see each other, Chrotus is the one that will notice. There are some people that are behind you, Yeg and Sashiv.
Like, following us behind us, or
Yep. Chrotus
They look like
notices
the
them.
guards?
They just look like people.
like regular people.
Well, you can't really tell from this distance.
I'm gonna look back in their direction.
Well, Chrotus has to say something. He's the one who sees them.
Oh, I thought he was. Never mind. My bad.
We have an audience here.
Hmm?
I'll point them out to everyone else.
As you point them out, the people immediately turn around. And they return to the road.
That's not good. I think.
No, it isn't.
All right, talk it up.
All right. So
I suggest
Let's
we
go.
move. I suggest we move further away from the gates.
Right.
Calvin, break down your tent. Don't leave it.
Alvin is going to be ignoring both of you guys and looking at the dudes that turned around. Are they still walking? Did they?
No, they're running now to the road.
They're running now.
Oh shit.
I think we might be compromised, guys.
Why?
Are they
Is there
running
any way-
towards the gate or away from it? Like,
They're
away
running,
from
they're running
Sarkozia?
towards the road and the gate, yes.
Does it look like they're running towards a guard? Question.
I mean, right now they're just getting to the road.
Oh, okay.
Are you going to stand there and watch them?
No, we're not.
No, scatter.
No. Get the fuck
Let's
out of
scatter.
here.
Alvin's going
and
to abandon his tent, but he'll grab his bedroll. Should I tear it down, boys, or should we go? 5 seconds.
How long would it take to tear down his tent?
Time. 10 minutes.
Burn it.
No, don't burn it. Just leave it. It's a
Just
tent.
leave it. Someone could use it.
Ugh. Fine.
Let's
I'll
just
get
move
us out
away.
of there. Don't worry.
I will remove that from my inventory.
All right. What do you guys do?
We're moving further away from the tent, and we're going
Which
to
direction?
end the roadside, and we're going to find a place. To...
Which
We're
direction?
going, as the head ranger, I'm going to take us south.
Okay.
That's
And
what I
the
was going
only
to
ranger-
suggest.
All right. You can head south. How far do you go? And how long?
Is south referring to us traveling from the north?
Let's see, for an hour, and then
For
we'll
an
head.
hour?
Let's head west then for an hour,
Okay.
and then I'll be trying to break trail, just in case.
Any rivers we can cross?
What do you mean? What do you mean break trail?
Like try to cover up our tracks.
Okay.
If
Make
we're
a survival
still
check to
being
cover
followed.
your tracks.
23,
Okay.
and then let's head south for one more hour, and then keep look an eye out just in case.
Okay. What do you guys do now?
All right. Let's brief you on the situation.
Let's see.
I hate to say this, but I feel like while Yig was one thing, but I feel like the warden recognized me.
Hmm.
He
The
didn't.
warden?
choose-
You met the warden?
The warden was there,
Fucking word.
and he's
What the
he's
fuck
much.
happened in there, guys?
If you'd let me finish.
Be right back, bathroom.
She
Go ahead.
squints at you.
Okay.
We were brought in. We used the ring as leverage. The leverage worked. The fact that there were less of us is probably why we're not in chains right now. The warden, knowing who we are, or at least who I was, probably sent those followers who went scattering. But since we haven't seen anything yet, and if they were on horseback, they would have caught us by now.
We went a good distance,
Yes, but
3 hours.
But remember, It seems like the Silver Order has more control here. I think the Warden might have sent spies after us specifically because he knows that he doesn't have the ability to govern the ones outside the walls. But he is much more of a threat now than he was. His weaponry, the weaponry of those escorting him. But he's just as cruel as we remember. If you're caught within the walls without a badge, he has every right to torture you. We don't even know if it's to be put back into prison or to death. We did hear screams.
And I think we've overextended our welcome, and I think we've gathered some valuable information.
I punch a hole in a tree.
Okay.
Roll in athletics on that.
No, don't.
So
Are
how
you the DM?
Yeah,
Can I
wait till the DM gets back and then ask him what he has to roll to punch a hole through a tree.
Hey,
Yeah, there you go.
what
But-
did the Silver Rose have any sort of rules for while you had those badges?
While we have these badges, we are only allowed to go where we are told we are allowed to go. As far as I'm aware, we're not allowed in the Scar, for obvious and for their purpose reasons. And we need to be invited to the Noble District in order to get in and out without being dealt with. There might be another badge for that. I'm not aware. We were simply told to stay our pace and not to overextend our welcome. But other than that, they were very, I will say, organized. She seemed very pragmatic.
In that case, potentially, Zarkel's index, where it lies, might be safe for the time being. If
Not
this
if they're
place,
the ones looking for it.
well, that's assuming they're looking for it.
Why else would it be there? Why else would it be now that the thing became active?
Hell if I know. You folks haven't been here for months. Did anything else happen? Did they relay anything that happened?
Come back.
We didn't
Welcome
ask. We played ignorant, as to not give away any intentions about us. We told them we were shacking up with river jacks and mercenaries looking for work. Simplest way to keep ourselves hidden from their information. Though my deception of saying that I did not know who the warden was doesn't seem to have flown as well as I'd hoped. Though we don't know how
much
much
you know.
mercenaries.
We're armed and we have armaments. We can, and by our statures, we can hold our own. Mercenaries come in all flavors.
Well, I personally think, as I've said, we've overextended our welcome. We have a lot of new information we can work off. I understand probably going back in be somewhat wise. But if you think the warden has sniffed you out, I don't think it'd be wise to go back in.
I think I might have an idea.
Right.
Go on.
She'll hold out the badge that she has. We have these now. And we do have a facility that's pretty decent at replicating items. If we were to find the essence to get that facility up and running fully, we may be able to make actual copies of these.
What's that
We
referring
can-
to? Oh, okay, sure.
The Blade Works.
Oh, the blade works.
Or Soul Foundry.
Well, the Blade Works of the Soul Foundry, you know what I mean. The
Yeah.
place I spent 2 weeks training, or studying it. If we go back with the information we have, and these, and if we're able to get anything from the stuff that, whether Hanarius has sent someone to gather it or not, we could always find something else to do in the time being. But if we can get badges for you as well, getting in won't be the hard part anymore. It'll be getting to the Noble District.
Considering how tightly locked up they have the walls out here, it's going to be double for the ones inside.
Not to be a party pooper, but are you going to be able to survive on one badge between you two while we find a way to replicate this?
I mean, unless we're going back directly there. We're outside the
Ah.
city now.
I misunderstood.
We're 3 hours outside.
Yes, we're not go. If anything, I like Axel's plan. We have information. We should run it by Slappy Paps. If she has any kind of siege warfare information, breaching is what we're interested in. Stealth could also be something we could ask about. But I think if we're going to do that, we need to give them all the details. Whether they choose to stay with us or not after that fact will be up to them. But we can't leave them in the dark if we're going to drag them any further.
Of course.
They will get an audience with Anarius, or at least they will be given the full spectrum of exactly where they are. We hold nothing back now, because we won't have a chance to do it later.
Yeah. So,
To be additional on the party pooping. I remember the founder that ran past us. The ranger that was on it.
yeah, that thing ran like hell. But I am confident in my abilities at breaking trail. They won't be able to follow us.
If it would have caught us, it would have caught up to us by now with how quickly they were able to get us verified. I assume that they went to go investigate. We told them about where we got the ring. That was our alibi.
Oh, well, I think we... Said a ranger? Got any descriptions?
Of the
You
ranger?
saw him. He was on the founder. He ran right past us.
We
Was he
weren't-
wearing the same uniform as the rest of the guards there, by any chance?
What kind of uniform was the ranger wearing, Arcadum?
Order the Silver Rose.
And that was
Aye.
probably... That patrol we saw probably was the one sent out to investigate.
I would assume so if they do it so quickly.
Man, we need to get us some of those.
Well, if we get the dust to be able to afford it, perhaps the Verdant can provide. But
Yeah.
until then, we need to focus on what we can get. We've got information, we've got some sources of interest, and we have some sort of battle plan. If we can't replicate these badges back at the base, then perhaps we find a new place to direct our attention. Because getting into Sarkozia just got a lot more difficult than we expected. And if the
Yeah.
Warden's actively patrolling it now, bringing all of us there, he won't have any reason to doubt me at that point. We'll be in irons before we can make it past the wall.
Right.
So basically what we're all is coming into agreement here is we got to head back to Lux's will and we have to make a lot of money really fast.
Potentially.
I say we make use of the Nexus. It's the
Really?
only thing that we know of that we can get through quickly. If
Oh,
it
While
takes us
we're
another-
out here, there is one thing we could do. Is there
What?
anything in the area outside of Sarkozia we might be able to check with Fenarius we could do?
I mean,
What exactly were we planning to ask him then?
It's not like we're limited in the same way that I can use scenting.
well,
Right.
The best way would just be to ask. We're in Sarkozia. Plans have had to change. Is there anything in the area we could do while we're out here so it isn't a wasted mission?
well, if I remember correctly, Henarius said that there was a Golemaster, which we would need for great founders, somewhere located in a place called the Ardent Amphitheater. Do y'all know where that is?
No.
Not a clue.
No.
Never heard of it.
Beats me.
Well, maybe
I'll
Henarius knows.
From helpful.
I mean, he knew the location of where the Golemaster is. Maybe he knows where the amphitheater is. If it's not
I'm-
too out of way of our travels.
I'm just saying, let's make our questions before we call him, because I have very little patience right now for his method of telling us that we're not asking the right questions.
I mean, simple is just we just ask if he knows where the amphitheater is and if he can direct us towards it, and like which direction.
Is
At
there
that
anything
point,
else you want to ask?
Mm,
Why don't you ask? Hand him the index. You're a part of the party now. You fought with us against the Eyeless. I think you proved your worth.
Very
Right.
much so.
okay. So you hand over the index.
She hands it over to you.
All right. Hanarius.
Connection established.
We've scouted out Sarkozia, and it's locked up pretty tight. We are going to be making our way back home, but we wanted to see if there was any place we could sweep by first before heading back. You mentioned some place called the Ardent Amphitheater. Is that possibly on the way back?
Negative.
How far away is it from our current location?
There's no response.
Probably doesn't
Clearly,
know.
he's just processing.
Axel needs to ask.
Oh.
Yeah.
From where we're currently located, how far of a day's travel would it be to the amphitheater?
10 days.
Oof, that's definitely outside of our ration supplies.
How many rations can you make in a day, Chrotus?
Oh, that's right. He has great food and water.
I would need a third level spell slot to do it, but technically I could do it every day. The problem is that it is more than enough for 5 people, so it may leave a trail of rotting food.
Oh, it's simple. Just bury it.
Our shovel's bent, remember?
I can just use my
Man.
shovel when I pull out the shovel.
Man, you...
Man,
Feels
Only-
bad.
I look over at Yig and Sashiv.
Yeah, I'll just
You
use
told
my
us to do
shovel, bro.
Axel holds up their non-gauntleted hand. You see this? It's called a hand. You can dig with it. She smiles.
I use my bent shovel to whack your hand.
Oh, I think I've got one of those, and
Ah,
I'll hold up my
hey,
middle
now
finger.
your hand's broken. Just like my shovel.
I'd like
God,
to snatch
that
the
is-
shovel
I
away
did
from
say
Calvin.
lightly before I got cut off.
Yeah, right.
A little whap pat.
Yeah,
Can,
yeah. But
can you imagine?
Say goodbye to your
Anyways.
kneecaps, Chucklehead.
alright. Well, from what
Axel.
Hanarius has said, yes.
Ask Hanarius this for me. Ask him if he has a problem with being introduced to the rest of our, or if he wants to remain hidden or not from the rest of our building society that's being built.
Our inner circle. Got it.
I don't know if we should be asking that kind of question right now.
Why not?
This could be saved back for when we get there.
Well, if we'll
We'll
have time to
save
think
it.
of another plan if he has a problem with it.
Real quick,
Understandable.
Hanarius. We wanted just to check to see if you would be alright with your identity being revealed to our inner circle of people such as our regent and whatnot. Do you have any issues with that?
It is the Seraphim's duties to keep this one safe. This one has no opinion.
Up to us then. Got it. Alright. Well, everyone,
And I say we should tell him.
I'm in agreement
Very
with
well.
that. Anywho, do we want to take the 10-day detour to the amphitheater, or should we head home?
Ask them which direction the amphitheater's in.
West.
And
Alright.
then, real quick,
Thought you said
Hanarius,
east.
from the amphitheater, how many days travel to back to home?
Inquiry. Which home?
Lux's rest. Or will? Lux's will.
Got the name of our own town, haven't we?
34 days.
Ooh, that's definitely out of our way.
Yes,
about
but you
you?
teleported to the temple.
Yeah, I was about to say you should ask about the
Yeah.
shrine.
Sorry,
Oh.
but you have to be precise with the fucking angel.
Yeah, that's why I
I'm
said we
sorry.
should
Yeah.
make our questions beforehand. But alright.
I misworded that. From the amphitheater to your old shrine where we teleported to.
12 days.
So in total, 10 days to amphitheater and
22
12
days.
days back. We'd be gone for close to a month, everyone.
And we didn't leave any funds behind to pay our people who are working.
No, the funds are still there. We only took 100 dust.
Well, then
keep
we
it-
should. Then we have the option then.
Ultimately, yeah. It's just... Who wishes to go home? Who wishes to head to the amphitheater?
think we should head back to the spire.
One for the
I
spire.
think, I think it might be a good idea. Also, we may still be able to catch up to that person that Yig spoke to on the way back. If we can properly
should
guide
head
them,
back
then they
to-
won't get lost because. Oh, you went up with Calvin and you told us what you told them, correct?
Yes.
All
Exactly,
right, well,
word for word.
Okay, then word for word, you told him that our city was a week away, but that's not
A
where
week
the
away
city
in the
is.
north.
Oh,
That's
no.
not where the city is.
We
That's
have
where
to
the
catch up to
teleporter
him,
is.
guys.
He doesn't.
Alright,
He doesn't
we
know.
gotta turn around and go catch up to him.
He'll get there and he'll be like, "Motherfucker, sent me in the wrong direction."
No,
We can't cast
Oh.
sanding because I'm
I
not familiar
asked.
with
He
the
said
meter.
yes. The north. North that is referring to
Yes,
the city, right?
yeah,
You do
yeah,
know
but
I'm
the-
referring to the city,
Yes,
right?
but sir,
Right, Arcadum? You wouldn't
stop.
swindle me like that, would you?
Well, first,
here's
of,
the thing.
First of all, you weren't incorrect. It is to the north. It's just not a week away.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's like a month away or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
he's
should
gonna-
probably catch up with them. Yeah, we should,
I think we should go to the back home and go rescue that man you sent into the wilds.
As much as it would be fun to go to the Ardent Awakening. Or empathy.
I took it by how fast we were
That
traveling.
was a bad slip up.
Yeah, I took that by how fast we were traveling. What the fuck?
That
Yeah,
one
but we
made me shake my
teleported
head.
first.
That one
Missed
hurt.
it
Yeah.
by that much.
This is
God
why.
damn it!
This is
Fuck
why I was
yeah,
hanging on
right.
to that because like I knew that like if we're gonna it may be something to sway us. It's like you just sent that man on a no end destination. He doesn't know how to work a teleporter.
Can we please?
Holy
Can we please go to him? We need to go to him, man.
Yeah.
I think
We
we're going
already-
home.
We made our plan, and then we can always travel. What he said, 12 days from if we get to Lux's Rest, we can always teleport back there, and then it's only a 12-day trip to the Ardent Amphitheater. So that is
Well,
now
and
we have
12
a
back. So
Yeah.
24.
There's a lot of
so
math
it'd be
going on.
24 days because you'd go there and then you'd have to come back.
right.
Yeah.
I'm aware.
I'm just saying.
I was just
Main or current objective, catch up to man. Main objective, get rich.
Yes.
Well, if
That's
we're
always
lucky,
the
we
objective.
might find some more things on the road.
I hope I
So-
find my bird.
yeah.
Bird?
So we're going back to the Spire, and we're trying to catch
That was
that
the
man.
word.
So
The
you're
word
headed back
bird.
to the spire
Yes.
Yep.
by going to the
Objective.
temple to teleport.
Yes.
Right.
Because I sent him in that direction.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll lock it in. We're at 3 hours though, so I'm gonna call it there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
That was fun though.
Hey, yo, we finally got a session that reached 3 hours.
Wow.
Before the ones before.
We did nothing.
We did nothing.
No,
Sweet.
we found a large essence shard and something that could be converted into mana. So that is good. Those are both things that we need.
Well-
It's just that we didn't, and we did get valuable information that didn't
I
get us
will
killed at
say
the gate.
though,
Right.
I will
Yeah.
say though, it is weird how I put my sword in the hole and it got longer.
Yikers.
What?
Raise his eyebrow.
All right.
Look,
Jump.
So here we go. Let me go ahead and shut this down and let's see if we've got any fan art. I'm taking a look with my eyes.
Take a look within a
Genital.
book.
Why are they posting dogs?
that's, they're
Because
pretty
because
funny.
now the fucking game, the fan art page is just posting chihuahuas. This
Why?
is-
No,
No.
Why?
oh, hold
I mean, it
on.
could be
I
Metal
gotta-
Sonic.
I did this wrong.
no, please.
Oh,
No
yeah,
more
hold
Metal Sonics, please.
Hold on, I forgot to send one of them.
Oh,
Ooh,
Metal
ooh,
Sonic.
Right, ET fell
This
off.
one is the party staring at the shiny rock and being confused. This one is the party realizing that they sent a random guy into the wild.
Yeah.
We're coming, random guy.
Hey guys, I actually got a new Metal Sonic gift today.
This is Bees drawing. Sashiv.
Oh, look at this.
That's really
It's
good.
where-
Also,
where
wear
is
me
the
halberd.
Where me halberd?
Where me halberd is.
Is anyone gonna
looks so
adjust
good.
Oh
the bee
shit!
in the room
Right?
on that armor?
Bees.
Wow,
Oh yeah, there is a bee on there.
Yeah, there's a bee on my on my armor.
that's very good.
A beautiful
That's
signature.
awesome.
Also,
Where's the
evil
toad he
metal
said he almost
Sonic.
had?
Okay. Why is it called Cum Dundee? Oh my god,
Where?
you're grounded. You're grounded.
What? No, hold on. What?
The name of the PNG at the top. It's
I mean, this is bees we're talking about.
Oh, God.
God damn it!
All right. Zinmaster, thank you for the resub for 16 months. That's great. Thanks for the 5 gifted sub. Butzinator, thanks for the Prime. Soul, thanks for the gifted sub. Siege, thanks for the 5er. Riop, thanks for the 100 gifted subs. 100 gifted sub-arenas. Thanks, bud.
Either.
That's some good shit.
Riop, thanks for the other gifted sub. And the other gifted subs. Zinmaster, thanks for the gifted sub. Tribal Stripes, thanks for the gifted sub. And Frosty the No Bad, thanks for the gifted sub. Or the resub. But
Nice.
Wear me, Harvard.
Where is it?
Bird. It's in your hand.
well, that certainly raised up my spirits because man, we were kind of lacking on the subs there at the beginning of this month, but we are at 1,557 subarenos. So thank you guys for all of that support, love, and kindness. We're still quite a ways away from our goals, but no worries, we'll get there. I have now stopped doubting chat, and I just say we're gonna get there, and they're gonna make it happen, or else I'm gonna lose my kneecaps.
Oh,
You know, Arcadum.
Yeah, what's
Look,
up?
my job's
No.
Actually, no.
No.
So you see.
No.
So you
No.
see, I'm getting closer to getting that job, Arcadum.
No.
I'm getting closer. You
No.
can't keep running. It's gonna happen.
Anyway.
I'm gonna become an opal miner, Arcadum.
Oh my fucking god.
oh
Anyway,
goodness.
where was I? Oh yes.
Opal.
Keep your Irish money to yourself.
Keep your clovers to yourself.
Or your euros.
Keep
or-
your lucky charms
or
away from me.
Your lucky charms.
Take the shamrock.
Keep your lucky charms to yourself.
Oh, now you're trying to steal my lucky charms now, but no, whenever I give them, it's fuck
Oh,
off.
when I get it. Oh, that's gonna kiss me, blood.
You see, we're supposed to earn that. We're not supposed to just take it.
The Rocky Road to Dublin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anyway.
Oh man, that's a wild one.
Thank you for the gifted subs, friends. Yep. We're still updating the Living World, but if you want to join it and be an NPC, if you're a sub, or if you got gifted a sub, you can do so. And for anybody who's interested in being a player early, you can jump in the Patreon and sign up as an adventurer. And anybody who does that gets a free rebuild for their character as we're doing a staggered release. The release of the Living World should be coming up here pretty soon, Reno. We're at the last stages of it. All the artwork's just been finished, which is very cool, very swag.
All right.
And yeah. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Thanks a lot for supporting the channel. I'm probably going to. I might be in the Discord later. I don't know. I'm gonna go make some good dinner because I haven't eaten.
Yeah, you
today.
better eat dinner. I told you that at the beginning of the session.
I haven't eaten yet.
Sustenance.
Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Thanks for playing. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, chat.